not
Seriously?
seen anything with Tim Allen in it in so long.
Bro, that actually is a very good show.
Is it?
Yes.
Is that the one he got canceled on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was like, they were vocally like pro-conservative.
Liberals
and
are such
pro-Trump,
cunts.
Pro-Trump.
They just
on the-
ruin everything that's good.
And with that, welcome to Brackish Bandits, episode 8.
Is it episode 8?
It is episode 8.
You checked?
I don't need to. I know it. This shit is just ingrained in me. It's pumping through my blood.
It
dude.
feels like an eternity.
And we got a new table that I built with my hands.
Very Tim Taylor move of you.
It's very Tim Taylor. I'll be the.
I'm just glad you didn't lose a thumb.
I'll be the Alan to your Tim Taylor.
Al?
If that's where we're going, yeah, Al. I'll be Al.
Al's pretty
Works
funny guy.
better, yeah. Al's a little chubbier, you know.
Yeah. Not really.
And, yeah.
Tim Taylor was rocking a serious dad bod.
Oh,
He's
for sure.
constantly shirtless in that show.
Yeah, hot though. Hot.
No, not really.
And you know what's hilarious to me too is like not that long before that show that he's portraying like the average American family man, he was in prison for smuggling cocaine.
Was it cocaine? I
was
thought it was
cocaine.
marijuana.
No, it was cocaine.
Yeah, that was a good mugshot.
Yeah.
He had a mustache
Fucking
and everything.
awesome. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fucking burly.
He was like
he looked
smiling.
good.
He was
He
like,
looked good. Yeah, he had a smirk. I think he legit did like 2 years in prison.
damn. That's not long at all for cocaine.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was like his
Well,
first offense type of thing.
He is white.
I think he tried to bring it on an airplane.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Not a good move.
No.
Like strapped to his body type, you know? And they found him.
That's like the
I don't
last
think
way
it was
I'd
that
wanna
much
do it.
either. Like maybe like, I don't know, a key or two.
Maybe that was
Under
just,
5
Maybe that
pounds.
was for personal reasons. Maybe he didn't have the intent to sell it. He's like, man, this shit's cheap here. I'm gonna fly home with some.
Yeah. I don't know. Roughly 4 pounds of cocaine is a lot, but if you're a frequent user, you're just buying in bulk. I get it.
When was it in
You know?
the 80s when he got arrested?
70s.
70s.
Yeah, so that's why I think it was not as big of a deal because it was before the whole like
Super crackdown. on
crack
cocaine.
epidemic where it was like, you know, they were handing out fucking basically
Well-
manslaughter charges for having crack and or cocaine.
Was that later on? Because I thought that was Nixon
What the?
with the war on drugs. I thought that's when they fucked up all the.
I mean, yeah, like
That was more of like reefer madness.
that was like, you know, shit being smuggled in from what's it called, like heroin and marijuana from
Vietnam.
Vietnam and that whole region. But yeah, I mean, I guess like you could say the war on drugs started in the 60s for sure,
Was that shit true with
but
the?
it definitely ramped up with Reagan and like his wife, the whole Just Say No.
Oh
and
yeah, that's
Dare,
right.
And like, you know, that's all that. That's where it really took off to where like now people were getting 10, 20-year sentences for having drugs, first time offense.
I can't remember the guy's name. It's Frank something. But did you watch American Gangster? Denzel, fantastic movie.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either, but I know who you're
You
talking
think
about.
that shit? Well, I don't know. Maybe you know. They were smuggling drugs and
From Vietnam.
from Vietnam, but they were doing it like inside caskets of dead soldiers. That's what they were doing in the movie.
That's real.
That happened.
Yes.
That's
I'm
wild.
sure every detail of that movie is not like 100%. You know, they always add shit. But yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
The plot of it, what he got caught doing, is real. And why, like, his last name is on the tip of my tongue. I want to say Frank Martin, but that's not what it is.
No.
But it's close to that.
I can't remember either.
I can't
just remember.
fucking
It's,
remember.
I just remember it's
gonna bug me,
Frank.
actually. Yeah, Frank. Fuck.
Because I remember that
don't
one
remember his
part. It will always. It's one of my favorite movie like scenes of all time, where it's Idris Elba was like a rival drug dealer or something. He's like, "What are you just gonna shoot me in fucking broad daylight,
did.
Frank?" And he just
Yeah.
fucking shoots him right in the head. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I am.
I'm gonna kill you."
I own this city. Blue Magic, they called it.
Yeah,
The heroin, their brand of heroin.
dude, heroin is just like they make it look so cool, but it. Just throw this out here, just in case kids are watching. Please don't do heroin. But it just looks so cool. Like all the rock stars did it, you know.
I
guess it's the
definitely
same
think
with
it was
cocaine,
like a
too.
chic thing to do. Like that was more like end of the 60s into the 70s, the rock and roll vibe
Yeah.
with heroin for sure. And all the shit that was coming from Vietnam, you know, because Vietnam, we didn't pull out until almost the
How do you
mid
say-
70s.
How do you say diabetes?
Diabetes.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. That's what I thought.
Vietnam, diabetes. I'll never, dude. after those commercials with the guy with the most
crazy
beautiful mustache I've ever
mustache.
seen.
Looks like the Snorlax.
Diabetes. Yeah, he literally looks like the
Snorlax.
That's so funny.
Diabetes.
Dude. Diabetes.
Do you have type 2 adult diabetes?
I'll never say diabetes normal like that again. Diabetes. Even if I have it, I'm like, I got the goddamn diabetes, doc. What do you want me to do with this? Heroin definitely though was like super chic. Like it was like the cool thing to do. It was like Coke in the 80s. You know what I mean? It was like it was what everyone was doing. It was like the pop culture. I'll tell you right now, heroin sucks. Like the whole opiate thing, it sucks. It's not
Opiates
I
are
don't
not good.
understand it.
Yeah.
Like I don't get I get how people maybe are pressured into trying it or doing it multiple times, but like from experience, that first little taste of like physical, like your body getting physically addicted to it within like a few days was like, yo, fuck this.
I got a couple for my thumb injury I had in college, and I felt like shit when I took
They make you nauseous too.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah,
thing.
it was just my stomach. My
Yeah.
stomach just felt terrible,
Yeah, you get the opiates make you nauseous.
and I was super
And then-
constipated.
And then once you, and if you, so here was my experience.
Couldn't poop.
Here's my experience with opiates, right? So, in my senior year of high school, end of junior going into senior year, there's a whole backstory to this, but I moved out of my parents' house and moved in with an older guy that I had played freshman football with, and he was like a year older than me. And that's how I knew him and got hooked up with his group of friends. Actually, he was 2 years older than me. So anyway, but he already graduated, living on his own. I moved in with him as a junior / almost senior in high school, and he sold drugs. So he would get, like, just literally he didn't have a job. Like, that's how he made money. And so for me to make money, I, at the time, drove a street bike, and we decided it was actually much easier for me to carry larger quantities of drugs and, like, deliver them than having people coming. He lived in Deep Creek, too, which, if you're familiar with our area, is, like, a very, like, you know, family-oriented, like,
Young family
deed-restricted,
yeah.
you know, like, having cars coming in and out of the driveway
Not the
all
nicest,
the time.
but pretty nice area.
But like nice enough to where it's like people are paying attention.
Yeah.
And like if you have cars coming in and out of the driveway 10 times a day, they're going to call the cops on you. So knowing that, we were just like,
don't shy away.
I know,
from
dude, our hairs almost got interlocked. You know what
that felt nice.
they're not going to know what the fuck we're talking about. Our
No.
knees touched and it
Just a little bit.
felt a little too good. But anyway, long story short, I would run, and that's how I would make a portion of the money, taking the risk of running it on a street bike, which, again, at the time, 17-year-old, just seemed like a good opportunity. It was really easy, and I was like, yeah, this isn't that bad. I wouldn't get in that much trouble if I got caught, which is a ridiculous thing to think, because of course I would. You know what I mean? What am I going to say? Oh, no, don't worry, officer. This isn't mine, actually. It's just in my backpack. You know what I mean? I would have been fucked, but whatever. So this was around 2008, and that in this area, you know, of Florida, they called it the pill mill, you know, area of Florida with all these pain clinics popping up. So people would go and get like 8 different prescriptions for these pain pills, like oxycodone and Roxy's were the really popular ones at the time.
Stay away from pain management clinics, please.
For real,
people.
for real. It's the same thing. It's opiates in your brain is the same as heroin. It does the same thing. So it rewires your brain and makes you addicted the same way. Now, again, 17-year-old, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know the difference between a fucking Xanax and opiate pain pill, right? So we're popping these. He's getting a lot of them, and we're popping them like they're just fun to do, and they do make you feel fantastic. Day 5 comes up where we're like out, and he needs to like sell the rest to make his money back, kind of thing. You know, we're like, ooh, we did a little too much of these. I felt horrible, dude. Like
Getting
like
off.
the worst flu. I couldn't shit. I couldn't piss right. Like I remember my first sign. I woke up, crazy headache, super nauseous. I went to like go take my morning piss, and it was just like, shh, shh, shh. I'm like, oh God, what's wrong with my
dried
dick?
you
know what I
out.
mean? I was like, oh fuck. But yeah, I had no idea. I was just like, oh man. I remember a guy came over that was like heavy. To put it shortly, this kid who was the same age as me and his father sold meth together as a team.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but he was like, you would never guess it, dude. This kid was super clean cut, saved his money. Like, I don't know where you're at, Bruce, but if I find you, you know what I mean? No, I didn't say his last name. And you know what? Bruce would absolutely.
Some Breaking Bad shit going on.
Let me tell you something. Bruce would absolutely come on here and tell that story if I could find him, because he was the craziest motherfucker I've ever known. But anyway. He told me, yeah, you're dope sick. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? He's like, you're like addicted. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I do drugs for fun, bro. I don't get addicted. And he's like, your body is physically addicted.
Yeah.
So that kind of like woke me up, and I'm like, yo, fuck that. Like, you can just on accident get addicted to these things. And then that's the cycle I guess most people fall into is like, oh, I feel like shit. Here, brother, take another. And then you get on that loop. And the longer you do it, when you go to try to get off, it's worse.
Bro, that's how I felt with Adderall. Like Adderall, it is I don't care what anyone says. That shit's addictive
100%.
as fuck. And yeah, I know obviously it's an amphetamine, but they market it as
same thing.
Yeah, they market it as like, oh.
It rewires the priorities in your brain. So, like, there was actually this long-term study that they did on opiates. So this is heroin, pain pills, you name it. And it actually, long-term users, like, I think they said like 7 to 8 years and past that, their brain has rewired to where it prioritizes getting that high over drinking water. So like think about like how basic a need drinking water is. Like your body will crave water well before it'll crave food. You know what I mean? If you're in a starving situation, you will need that water before you'll need food, and it would tell your brain, "Hold on.
Let me tell you something.
Let's get this heroin up in us first, and then we'll find water."
So fucking this is nuts. So there was like a span of like 3 years where I would get probably 5 or 6 phone calls a day asking if I was, I think, Dr. James something. Is this Dr. James, blah, 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 Northport pain clinic? I was like, no. And it just kept fucking happening. And I finally realized, like, I'm like, what the fuck is a pain management clinic? And like that's all it is just opioids.
Come in and get pills. Yeah.
So like I'm literally getting calls from fucking pill heads all day, and it's like, what doctor? And they weren't even asking if it was his office. They were asking if it was Dr. James. I was like, okay, this guy's a fucking piece of shit.
James, I'm Joe's.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
need my fix, man.
What doctor just has their fucking phone number on speed dial?
Also,
or not speed dial, but I guess readily available.
What a jerk James is. Dr. James, we're just changing his number and not letting these poor pillheads know.
I wonder what happened there.
Yeah. Maybe he got arrested.
He's probably in prison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was crazy, too. Well, and there was like a whole documentary about the whole pill mill thing. It's very interesting. If you've never heard of this, there is a documentary.
There's a couple shows, too.
Yeah. And like a bunch of different stuff that they covered about that. A lot of those doctors didn't get in any trouble. The actual people that worked at the companies, like, I don't know, I think Pfizer actually was one of the main ones that produced like OxyContin, which is the main one that a lot of people got hooked on, and then they made like generics of and shit. But yeah, still right now, it's why people are dying from fucking fentanyl, because they switched to heroin, and then fentanyl was coming around even cheaper than heroin. That was the whole thing. That's why you've seen so many heroin addicts popping up and people dying from fentanyl. So they all got hooked on the pain pills, and then the fly-by-night fucking pain clinics all got shut down, and it was harder to find them and more expensive to keep the prescriptions. So they just went to regular good old heroin.
Well, that's what I don't get too. Is like everyone always says, well, fentanyl is technically way more expensive. It's a pharmaceutical drug. It's a real drug. And like, when I say real drug, like one that's used by, everybody. I guess,
it actually is.
Hospitals.
Yeah. Like it actually is used in
then why is everyone
medical
doing
procedures and stuff?
If it's so much more expensive, then how
it's
are
way
people
more
getting
potent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you probably need a lot less. So
Yeah.
it probably is technically cheaper for the high.
again, I've been out of the
Don't
game.
once, and I also got those
Yeah.
out here. Please do not do fucking fentanyl. That is just
Don't go
retarded.
try fentanyl. We're not. This fentanyl does not have the Brackish Bandit seal of approval.
This is all Tim Allen's fault.
You know, we started talking about cocaine. Yeah. Hilarious. You know, it's a little refreshing though, right? Because I feel like most podcasts lately we've started out talking about something to do with pedophiles.
Yeah.
So, and
You want to bring that up real quick?
I haven't heard anything about them lately.
Pedophiles are bad. Okay.
Pedophiles are bad.
Don't be a pedophile. Okay.
Pedophiles also do not have the Brackish Bandits seal of approval.
Yeah,
we don't
can't
approve.
make
Yeah.
that more clear.
Guys, ladies and gents, please don't go out.
Pretty
and
sure-
diddle kids.
pretty
You know what I
sure
mean?
we
It
brought
is not
up-
cool with us.
And it's a pain in the ass nowadays. Those kids are fucking
It
anti-gluten.
ain't like it used to be. Yeah. These
better-
kids are smart. They
better
got
have
YouTube
some
and shit.
sugar-free, gluten-free candy in that windowless van, brother. Some carrots and ranch.
Yeah. I don't know. Very interesting time, though, man. 2008 was a very interesting time because
Well, you had
I
so
was-
much shit going on.
and I was right in the middle of this weird drug world. Like cocaine also became weirdly, for I don't know the reasons why, super popular in 2008. Every fucking body was doing cocaine. It was
talked
weird.
about that, and honestly, when I left, because we talk about this shit at fucking work, so we're a bunch of idiots. And when I left in my car, I was like, people were probably doing a lot of drugs back then because of the fucking crash. I imagine that's what it was.
I actually hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Being a dumb kid, not like,
Yeah.
I don't have any fucking skin in the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe.
'Cause I don't
People
know-
just down on their luck, depressed, lost their job, losing their houses.
Well, I don't know how it was for you, but
it,
dude, 2007 to 2010 was very doom and gloom in my household.
yeah.
Like, it was just like all my
We-
parents talked about was money. Everyone was freaking the fuck out constantly. Like, it was nuts.
We did okay. We were, I don't know, Andrew, I think, was hedged. My stepdad was like hedged for whatever reason against that. And like, I know he lost a shit ton of money in the stock market, but I think
He did well with
he
work.
did okay. Yeah, like his business was okay, and
Yeah.
like everything was like, it wasn't like detrimental to us because like I'm trying to think. Yeah, we were in like the Prairie Creek house already. Like we were good. The house you would know.
Yeah.
We were good. Like so, it was a weird time though.
It was very
because-
strange.
Yeah, because everybody was like freaking out, and again, here we are, high school kids, or like again, the guy I was living with was just out of high school. I was still in high school, and we're selling drugs to 45-year-old men. And it just never occurred to me, like, damn, dude, this dude's probably really down on
Yeah.
this fuck. It's
But
like,
it kind
here
of
you
makes
go. Yeah.
makes sense now, though, right? You're like, oh,
And again,
Fuck.
I was not a drug dealer. I was just
trafficker.
I was just ahead of my time.
You were a trafficker.
I prefer to think of it. I prefer to think of it as I was just essentially
What's the statute
a
of limitations
DoorDasher.
on
I was
that?
essentially a door dasher for drug deliveries. You know what I mean? It's like, here you go, sir. But yeah, without the app. But yeah, no, I got some crazy stories about that different things we did, but for sure that was a weird time because cocaine, like I said, probably
Just
because of all the
booming here.
depressing shit that was happening, was like booming, and
Yeah.
it was like so odd to me. And what was even more weird to me is like in my head, right? Like I would always have thought that cocaine would come from like Spanish cartel guys, or even like your typical looking drug dealers. You know what I mean?
What are you
We
trying to
won't-
say?
We won't go too deep into that,
We'll
but you
gloss
know what
over
I
that.
mean. Black guys. But you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't any of that. It was literally ranchers
Yeah.
from Ocala.
Yeah.
Like, dudes that owned thousands of acres of property and cattle and horses, drove insanely nice trucks, wore cowboy hats and cowboy boots and button-up pearl snap shirts. I was like, all right, what? Like... And I know this because we had one direct contact that would deliver the shit to his house. And he never got like a ton. But I think like the most we got at one time was like 4 kilos, which is roughly, 8 pounds?
Holy
so,
shit.
Oh, dude, it looked insane. Like we broke it all out on his table. And he was like, experimenting with cutting some of it because at the time you would use like baby aspirin and sometimes baby laxative to kind of cut it. That was like the most common cutting agents because it wouldn't hurt it too much. And honestly, I'll give him credit. He really didn't cut it very much at all, and it would just stretch it so much that it was still very good. But a buddy of mine got a front for, I think, an ounce or two of cocaine, which again is a lot of cocaine.
That's a lot of cocaine.
It's a lot. You know what I mean? Especially to sell. That's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So he went and tried to sell the whole thing all at once.
That's how you get caught.
Well, I would say honestly almost worse than getting caught, because he decided to sell to a nice gentleman from Nocatee. Now, if you're from our area, if you're from Punta Gorda or just this area, you will recognize Nocatee as a complete and total shithole.
Hey, man, I got peoples in Nocatee. Let's calm down.
I'm sure you do. But, I mean, just really bad. Like, when you picture a ghetto, like, people literally, like, living out of fucking, like, rundown, what they call shotgun houses, which were houses that were built back in, like, the 40s and 50s that are set up for no AC.
It looks
in
like
Florida.
shit that fucking, like, you watch a tutorial on, like, how to build a shed out in the woods. That's what those people were.
For real. Like, that is their family home passed down by multiple generations.
There's a bunch of fucking plywood.
Nocatee is fucking wild. So anyway, a nice gentleman from Nocatee who went by the nomenclature Hollywood. So as you can imagine, a super tatted black dude. Like
not Hollywood at all.
Well, they call him Hollywood, though, because he was super muscular. I do believe he was into bodybuilding. I don't know his fucking backstory, but he was, like, oddly muscular. Like, he definitely worked out
super jacked
majority of the time. And was just covered in tattoos. Like, before it was cool to have face tats, this guy was covered in little tiny weird face tats all over. Like, weird looking guy, right? I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's totally trustworthy, right? Buys $2,000 worth of cocaine from my friend. My friend goes, they're counting out the money. It is some of the worst counterfeit $20 bills I've ever seen in my life. Like play money. Like, they printed this out on a printer in Nocatee. You know what I mean? Dude, it was really bad.
grade printer, very bad
these
printer.
These kids had a big meeting, and like 4 of the guys from Ocala came and had like a meeting in this living room while me and this other girl are like doing beer bonks in the kitchen or something, like not taking it seriously until I realized what was going on.
Oh, yeah, they could have killed you
And
guys.
then I was like, oh my God, yeah. I mean, and again, like over $2,000, but definitely very serious. They took it very seriously enough to drive from Ocala and be like, this is not a good situation. You've got us in here. And also because they, I guess, said that they knew of that guy and that he was a snitch, that he was an informant. So they were really grilling my friend, like, how much did you tell him? Did you tell him where you got it from? Did he follow you back to the house? Did he meet you here? Where did he meet? Like, they wanted to know every fucking detail of how much you just exposed us to this guy.
He's honestly lucky they didn't kill him.
I mean, again, over $2,000.
It's not about the $2,000, buddy. It's about the information.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, again, like, I took it seriously, but I didn't realize the gravity of it at that moment, right?
You're fucking 17
I was just like, wow,
old.
I can't believe these dudes are that pissed about $2,000. You know, I kind of like.
In this economy? Are
scoffed
you
it up.
fucking,
Yeah.
are you crazy?
Yeah.
$2,000.
In this economy? Yeah. But anyway, so he had to go and exchange all that money at different places, like buy a pack of gum with the 20. It took him like a month, but he got all of it back.
And they actually took the counterfeit bills.
He only ever got caught once at a gas station, and they just left, and they did call the cops, and nothing ever came of it. But
he's lucky he didn't get George Floyded.
is that what that's how that started with George Floyd, right? Counterfeit
$20
fucking $20 bill, man. That'll get you stepped on, folks. Yeah. So I don't know. That was pretty crazy, but yeah, Hollywood, if you're out there, dude, classic.
I don't even have any words.
My hands were clean of that situation. I had nothing to do with it. I mean, I was there.
I'm sure that's what you're going to tell them.
It was in the Walmart parking
when
lot.
they come knocking at your door.
It was in a Kings Highway Walmart parking lot.
Damn near fucking 20 years later.
Yeah. Who, the Ocala guys or fucking?
No, the cops.
Fuck, maybe.
They're gonna be one of the 10 views on this video.
That would be hilarious.
They're
I
gonna
don't
come after
know
you.
any of their
That would be
names.
hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know any of their names. I don't know where Hollywood lives. I don't know shit, man. I was just
I don't
there.
know his actual name.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it is, but you never know nowadays.
Well, that's what they called him. I don't know. Yeah, but I just thought that was got a lot of wild stories from that time, but we'll save those for later, you know.
Yeah.
Good times.
Sprinkle them in there every now and again.
Good times, good times. I was just I'll say this, it blows my fucking mind the amount of dumb fucking shit that I have done, and just at the time was like, this isn't even that bad.
And it's crazy because you always talk about how you have like no luck at all, and then I
spent it all.
I was about to say, I think you used like all of your luck.
Definitely spent it, dude. I'm not kidding. Like there's multiple situations that real deal prison time.
Yeah,
and just no anxiety or stress about it at all. Like I didn't even think about it. I was like,
guys,
this isn't that big of a deal.
a big misunderstanding.
Guys,
you know what that
big of a
is?
deal.
That's white privilege.
I guess
That's white
so.
privilege.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I had been in trouble. I mean, I'd already been arrested. I'd been through the system. Fuck, I was. This was all after I'd already been to juvie.
Yeah.
So like, I understood what it was like to be incarcerated, and still was just like, this isn't that bad. You know, crazy. It's really stupid.
I got fucking chlorine all over me.
Ooh,
and I'm
that's
starting
gonna
to get
dry
like that
you out,
kinda,
boy.
Yeah, I'm getting itchy.
Good. I want you itching and scratch. Ooh, look at that, dude. Those chest noodles. Ah, damn. Got some
Frankie
brown
calls
sugar on that oatmeal.
They call it machismo.
Machismo.
What is that?
Just manliness. It's a vibe.
I guess.
I'd say machismo is like a vibe, you know? You're very manly.
I knew you'd know that. I don't know why.
I'm a connoisseur, dude. A savant, if you will.
A savant? You're an idiot savant. That's for sure.
Absolutely, dude.
Especially with some of these stories.
Dude, I'm fucking telling you, man. Really fucking
I don't know how that
stupid.
kilo got there, man. Oh, that's fine. We believe you.
Guys, officers, this is not what it looks like yet.
I am a white ginger kid.
I really did, bro. I had that confidence because, I mean, there was the amount of situations. I mean, I told you just different stories about just even getting caught at parties or like woods keggers and stuff. And as almost always, I was the front man of like officers list. Like I just had that.
Hold on a second.
Had that idiot confidence that I was like, I could talk my way out of this. You know what I mean? It was just they were very, very, very lucky.
That
very
confidence
blessed.
and the ability to talk will get you through a lot of shit in life. It really, really
Sure will. Yeah.
I feel like your problem now is you don't have patience for it.
Yeah, I don't. I can't.
I heard you on the phone with people, dude. It's just like, God damn.
You talking about with work?
No.
Oh.
Well, sometimes, very rarely. But like, you had a situation with your water on this house, and they had a fucking, bullshit telephone call from some Indian woman, who's on the other side of the fucking planet, and she's sitting there talking to you about,
talking to me about my $600 water bill.
Yeah. Which is hilarious.
My name is Sarah, and I will be helping you today. Listen,
all right,
Sarah.
Osh gosh bagosh.
Yeah.
You fucking lying piece of shit.
All right, Sarah. Let me tell you something. You ever had a $600 water bill? Sarah, have you ever seen what $600 of water looks like, Sarah?
No, sir. I do not have water in India.
I was, yeah.
I mean, in my part of America.
Look, like all racism aside, I don't have an issue with Indian people. I really don't.
Well, you were like technically raised by one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. My stepdad is of Indian descent. He is an islander.
He's not from India.
But he is of Indian descent, so he looks like he could potentially be Indian.
At a certain
yeah.
When
he
he's
looks
been
like
out,
a really, really, like his features and everything, he looks like a really, really tan white guy.
He looks like a really, really tan Elvis.
Yeah. He does look a lot like Elvis.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
He's like a huge Elvis fan.
Dude, he's got hair, I mean, that just, it looks like it's
nice
fucking
coif.
glued onto his fucking head.
Yeah, he's got a great head of hair. Yeah. But shout out to Andrew. He's up there, and he's also incarcerated. My stepdad is also incarcerated for drug-related reasons. I mean, but
that's
again,
the most bullshit.
You could say it, Schedule 2 or Schedule 1 or whatever.
That was the most bullshit shit. We don't have to go into that.
We can. I don't care.
That was bullshit.
Maybe somebody comes across it, Innocence Project or something. Although he wasn't innocent. But he totally did it.
Don't oust him, dude. Goddamn, he might have had a shot.
Nah, he's all good, dude. He's halfway through, man. He's halfway.
Is he really?
Done. Yeah,
God, it's
think
been that
about
long.
It. Yeah, he's been 3 years in there.
Fuck, I can't wait for him to get out.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be super cool. I mean, knowing him too, he'll just hit the ground running. You know what I mean? Like I think
he'll get a fucking loan from somebody the next day. Maybe he might not even need one. Just start up
without
shop
saying
again.
too much. I think
Not drugs. Jesus Christ, people. He's a chef.
Here you
Just
go,
throwing that
brother.
out there.
Get started up. I think without saying too much, there was definitely. I have a vibe. I don't know shit. I have a vibe that there was definitely other people involved that he didn't rat out, and that
they're gonna take care of him.
They'll take care of him. So hopefully he hits the ground running. And guy's a proven businessman. You know what I'm saying?
He works his ass off.
Really did.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I think that's what drove him to make that decision in the first place, is that it was a lot easier and less physically demanding to make that money.
He got fucked by COVID too.
Yes, he did. And my mom had cancer at the time, you know what I mean? And no way of bringing in that kind of money. It depends, man. Like, there's other shit that was going on, like maybe personally between him and my mom, or like just him as far as like, being a dad aspect.
Yeah.
That, I won't necessarily say he was good at or was doing a good job of at the time. But overall, I think like
man's got to provide, dude.
Yeah, like I'll speak out and say like Andrew was a great stepdad. Stepped up where my dad didn't in a lot of different ways. Was a great mentor to me. Always growing up, seeing a guy working very hard and being successful because of how hard he was working. You know what I mean? So whatever drove him to the decisions that he made in the end, there was like. I can't say I don't get it. I mean, I definitely have learned a lesson from him as like, don't do that. You know what I mean? But seriously. Like, I get it. I mean, stepped in a corner, I would do some fucking shit to take care of my family too. So
do whatever it takes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the truth of it. Especially when you're backed into a corner. And that's the thing, man. A lot of these scenarios, it does stem from, shit out of their control, and that's why I try not to judge people on shit like that. 'Cause it's like, you never know what they're going through.
Yeah.
You never know what they're going through.
It's not always cut and dry, black and white, of like, oh, he just decided to break the rules one day for no reason at all.
Or, he wanted nicer. It's not even that. It's like a lot of times like, hey, I got a fucking mortgage. I got kids who need me.
Yeah.
I got to go fucking do something.
Yep.
I don't care what the fuck it is. And like you said, when you get older, I mean, fuck, it's not like you can go work fucking 9 to 5.
Yeah, you can't just like double
labor.
up on fucking shifts and not to mention the guy had knee surgery and back surgery and was like just broken. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was not a lot of options.
He stood for fucking 15 hours a day.
Yeah,
cooking
for 25 fucking years.
Yeah. And that's if he wasn't working on fixing the fucking store, or something
or taking
like that.
care of. We always had a lot of property, so it was like it was never a moment really. If the guy wasn't like sitting on the couch watching Fox News or sleeping, he was, you know what I mean,
mowing the yard,
doing something physically.
Which you guys
demanding.
had a shit ton of acres.
Yeah, I mean, growing up with the 20 acres too was like that was so fucking much to take care of. Like. I mean, we were kids. That was our chores. Like, our chores wasn't taking out the trash. Like, our chores was like,
fixing
hey,
fences.
We need to fix that fucking fence line. We need to fill these fucking, hog roots up in the cow pasture. The cow's going to break their fucking ankle. You know what I mean? Just different types of stuff like that. A lot of physically demanding. Or like when, you say, hey, go mow the lawn. It's the front pasture, which is 10 fucking acres. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So... yeah.
All right, folks. Hey, let me ask you something. How much time do you waste drinking water? No, seriously. Every time you stop to take a sip, you're losing precious seconds. Seconds that could be spent lifting, grinding, building, or just being better. But don't worry, because one man has solved this problem for all of us. Introducing Oxyho, the world's first breathable water. Created by none other than Dr. B. Artwall, a man who understands that time is money. Let me give you the backstory on this, because it's wild. Dr. Artwall wasn't always a renowned hydration scientist. Nope, he started just like you and me, an everyday construction professional. Long hours, tight deadlines, always pressed for time. Every second on the job site mattered. Then one day at the gym, mid-workout, he reached for his water bottle and thought, this is taking too long. Drinking water is inefficient. There has to be a better way. But the real breakthrough, that happened underwater, while scuba diving, observing the mating rituals of sharks. Because, I mean, what else is a genius doing in his free time? But he had a moment of clarity. He thought, if I can breathe oxygen from a tank, why can't I breathe water from a can? He hit the lab and discovered how to stabilize the hydrogen and oxygen atoms to form a new molecule, removing the 2 from the H2O, and boom, Oxy-Ho was born. Now you don't have to stop for a sip. Just breathe it in and let Oxy-Ho hydrate you instantly. No chugging, no spills, no wasted time. It's hydration at the speed of life. Perfect for athletes, busy professionals, and anyone who values efficiency over outdated rituals like drinking water, like a caveman. So if you want to stay ahead of the game and you want next level hydration, it's time to upgrade to Oxy-Ho. Dr. B. Arthole presents the future of hydration. Available now at select retailers and probably coming soon to a space station near you. Oxy-Ho. Don't sip it. Breathe it.
Yeah.
Life, dude. Life's crazy. Life is so unexpected. Like, who would have ever thought that we'd go through a period where everything would just shut down for like 2 months?
That was
in
fucking
Florida.
wild.
Dude, California was like a whole year.
Like, probably more. Yeah, I mean that. I
It was,
feel like
it was more like probably like 16 months. 16,
I feel like
18
so many
months.
other people's, like when you see them online or whatever talking about it, their experience is like, yeah, a solid year of like not working, chilling at the house. I didn't have none of that
Dude,
shit, dude.
it fucked so many people over. Like, people weren't paying rent. So,
Yeah.
you know, fucking landlords were getting fucked. Which I guess in some cases, like, fuck them. But at the same time, you know, if you're a guy with one fucking rental property, that sucks
That's
ass.
your income.
Exactly. Fucking
were
small
the-
business owners, they got fucking killed. And
Yeah.
that bullshit
They had to lay
stimulus
off
check
their
of $1,200 did not do anything.
Yeah.
I actually saw people trying to say that that's what caused all of this inflation, hyperinflation. You're telling me giving everybody $1,200 really caused hyperinflation? There's no fucking way.
I could definitely see it causing an inflation in like period, but not.
Not 4 years.
No.
Not 4 years worth.
I mean,
It was, dude, come on. We've
It's
talked about
crazy.
this.
I'm
it's
so
sheer,
happy.
It's sheer greed.
it's absolutely
It's sheer
sheer
greed.
greed. Absolutely. I'm so happy with the whole Doge thing right now. And what really drives me nuts about that is like, how can you be angry? That's so crazy to me. Like,
so we talked about this a little bit, and I dived into it from their perspective, and now I really fucked up because all my Instagram is liberal.
what do you mean?
So now
Oh,
I'm
you
just
just
getting
kind of
mad.
wanted to see the opposite, like what they were
Well,
saying
no,
they were
I
mad
was
about.
like looking into it on like my fucking Safari iPhone web browser, and it transferred over to my Instagram. But like, they're essentially saying that Elon Musk, all this is fictitious. We'll go into that in a second. And that essentially the two people who would want to do this the most to disband the IRS would be obviously Elon Musk, he's like the richest man in America, and Donald Trump, because they're both fucking billionaires. Here's my thing. This is not fictitious. This is actual held on, essentially receipts from these departments, different departments of the government. This is real. This is real. They have the documentation. I hope they post the documentation to shut these dumb fucks up.
They do, but it doesn't seem to be making a difference.
Like,
Well, what's
It kills
wild
me.
to me though is like to say that it's just fake.
well,
Like,
here's another thing. So then I now that I have them on Instagram, well, there's this, you know, a couple of these really smart guys. So they seem, I don't know what their fucking credentials are. They could be fucking nobodies, but they're acting like they're actual like economists. Is that how you say that word?
economists.
Economist.
I
Once
like it,
again,
though. Let's
little
let it
retarded.
ride.
But I'm a little retarded. Isn't it crazy? I went and got a master's degree.
Well, I mean, you know, you were a specific
Economicist.
field. I mean, yeah.
Anyways, these guys are essentially, they were the ones that were saying, first, Trump fucked up in 2020, giving out the stimulus checks. That caused hyperinflation, which is, I still think is bullshit. You'd have to show me on a chart how that makes fucking sense. But then he breaks down another one of the Doge releases. I can't remember which one it was, but he's like, this is like the equivalent of taking $1 from every American, and like, or not even, it's like less than $1 from every American. So he's like, so that money that you're going to get back, like if they do some sort of refund, it's not even going to be worth it. It's not going to change your lives. It's like, dude, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard someone say.
But why would it's and again, it's like, okay, you're pointing out this one thing. Sure, this one thing that they're funding that equivalates to $1 a citizen. Okay. Now multiply that by fucking, we don't even know how many yet, but yeah, multiply that by
it adds
however
up,
many,
motherfucker. Yeah. It adds up. And how much better could they have used that $1 from every American just in anything else?
Yeah.
In anything else.
No, I'm not. I don't see how there would ever be a point that a liberal person would watch this and or make it this far.
They won't.
But if you're a liberal-leaning person and you're just so happy
I literally
to
called
be
them
hearing
cunts
this
in like the first 2
yeah,
minutes.
I'm out.
Down
like,
vote.
really think this through. Like, okay, I know Orange Man bad. No matter what Donald Trump does, you have to hate it, or else you're not hip and cool, and everybody will judge you. And nobody's saying to support Elon. And that's another thing. I don't know how Elon got tied into being like this bad guy. Like,
they also buy his cars. That's the biggest joke of it, too.
What's odd to me, though, is he was before this. Like, I remember years ago, like, before I realized that he was even involved in politics at all, my brother telling me, like, oh, well, I have a picture of him, but I'm not going to put it in the background while I'm streaming because he's a controversial figure. And that was, like, the first time I ever heard that. I was like, Elon Musk? Like, the SpaceX Tesla guy?
Well, he's, like, always been conservative.
Again, to just be conservative, he wasn't even that outspoken. You're talking, this was like at least 2, maybe almost 3 years ago.
This was before he gave his heart out to everybody.
Oh, yeah. This was before he sent his heart out to the people. But, no, I find it so weird that people are freaking the fuck out. Like, they're finding all this money that's being used for really silly shit. Like shit that I don't care whether you're liberal or you're way farther end of the spectrum, like super crazy liberal, I'm transgender and non-binary and all. It's still a bad thing to like spend money that we give to the government through our taxes on ridiculously dumb shit. This is like the most basic idea, and I feel like, haven't Democrats been saying they're going to do that for such a long time? Like, cut government spending, and like, isn't that like one of the main
be more efficient with government programs to give people more money,
it's
more
like,
items.
So again, if you're saying to yourself, well, that's not going to make a difference, that's not going to make a difference. What if they took? I mean, so far, I think they're definitely into the hundreds of billions of things that they've cut back on and are able to allocate somewhere else. Now, I can understand if they get mad where it gets allocated, but nobody's made that decision yet. So there's not a reason to be mad yet, right? Right now, we're just in money-saving mode. What can we cut? What bills can we cut? What's this bill going to? That bill sounds dumb, and it doesn't advance America's agenda whatsoever, right? Like, matter of fact, glad you brought this up.
Pull it up.
I want to read you just a couple of them, and you know, to the angry lib or just anybody that would defend this point that this is bad, they shouldn't be cutting these programs. The one that catches my eye, absolutely, like the top one, and this is just USAID, by the way, USAID. So that's just one, I don't even know what the fuck you'd call them, like philanthropist group? I don't know. So they're saying that these guys have actually been used. Oh, wow. What did I just hit? They're saying that these guys have actually been used to fund different proxy groups around, like, the Middle East. Oh, yeah. So, like, ISIS, they were used to fund ISIS.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about, like, actual liberal, like, groups.
And this is another thing, too. Like, bite this off and chew on it for a minute before you reject it. There's no getting around this. This is like public information. This is not a secret anymore. ISIS was developed and funded by the U.S.
CIA specifically.
Now, whether they went rogue and did some crazy shit that we didn't sanction, okay, that's what they do. Same with Mujahideen. That's now Al-Qaeda and whatever the other one that broke off.
We did that as well. Al-Qaeda was us.
We absolutely did that. And that was back in the 80s. We won't go through the whole history lesson for you, but that absolutely was us also. Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset at one time. Again, to help fight communism.
Yep.
Was the guys
we funded and trained them to fight the Russians.
So this is not like a secret. This is not like something that's like ultra conspiracy theory. It's there.
This
like
is
you
real.
can go to, I'm going to look that up too, but there's actually a website that you can go to that shows like
All the terrorist
released
groups.
documents. Well, like different things that we've done and funded, and like Operation Northwoods. Like that's not like a secret. That's
Which one's
like
Northwoods?
Northwoods was developed in the 60s by the CIA to fly airplanes into buildings to create dissent and like again, a false flag meaning like to pin it on somebody and say this person just
Straw
attacked
man.
us. We
Yeah.
need to straw man argument. This person just attacked us. We need to go to war. When like Vietnam, I would say most if not all wars, majority of the citizens have opposed. World War II, World War One.
War's bad.
Vietnam, all of them. We said we don't need to be there. We don't want to get involved in a foreign war. We have no reason to be there. It's not like these people attacked us, right? And then we get attacked, and it's, fuck them. Let's go fuck them up, And it's like, so again, these kind of plans have been around for a long time, and Northwoods is sketchy because it's eerily similar to 9/11. Take that for what you will. Anyway, back to this. The number one that catches my eye right now from USAID only. This is just one group that is given government money, and then they spend it how they see fit. $50 million to fund condoms in Gaza. Do you have any idea how many condoms $50 million worth is? And in Gaza,
What's the average price of a condom? Could we look that up?
yeah, I guess I could. That's actually an interesting question. I would say probably less than $1 per.
Well, I don't
condom.
use those useless things.
Yeah, me neither. Average price. I'm like trying to pick and poke.
with one hand, yeah.
Average price
Of condom.
condoms, and it probably will give me like Trojan or something.
About $1 each.
Yep, about $1.
So 50 million condoms.
It's a lot of condoms.
That's a lot of condoms.
And let's be honest.
What's the population in Gaza?
Let's be honest. They're not sending these people top tier Trojans. There's probably getting Rough Riders or something. What'd you say?
Google the total population in Gaza.
Well, I'm sure it's much less now.
No, they're just killing kids over there.
I'm
Kids are, they're not doing these types of activities. Oh, we're up to 8 billion people in the world. That's pretty crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Okay.
2.142 million.
And that's as of 2024.
So we'll say 2.2.
Yeah.
It might even be less, like you said, after recent events.
It's absolutely less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking about people who moved out of there, not people who perished or died.
2.1 million
because of
people.
Israel.
And $50 million.
So that's about 25 condoms per person in Gaza. And even then, you'd have to really technically divide that by 2, assuming that it's a 50-50 male-female population, because only men really wear condoms or operate condoms.
Another one. I'm not going to read through all of them, but another one that's absolutely crazy. And this isn't that much money. So I get where people are like probably taking these dollar amounts and going, oh, that doesn't even matter. It matters. $32,000 for a transgender comic in Peru. Just one guy.
Crazy.
Now, I want to know what that guy was doing. Who is this guy? Who is this comic in Peru?
He's probably getting flown out to North Korea by Kim Jong Dingling and getting fucked.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna put you on retainer. We're gonna inject you with AIDS. You got to give AIDS to Kim Jong Dong-lung."
Dude, you're fucking diabolical.
Smart man.
CIA, hit my boy Grant up, dude.
You guys need to let me run the show.
He's got some ideas. Get out of here, fucker.
That would actually be the ultimate way to kill a dictator.
Yeah, give him AIDS.
Yeah.
Just slow roll him, I mean, we're not.
Because they don't have medicine
We're
over
not
there.
sending 50 million in condoms to fucking North Korea. Let's see. Yeah, that. I mean, again, 32 grand in the grand scheme of things.
Very
It's
small.
actually really reasonably
Hey,
priced
man.
transgender surgery. Go to Peru if you're trying to transition. 32 grand's not bad.
32,000 would help me out a lot.
Yeah, it sure would help me out a lot. But again, one comic in Peru. So weird that's even like, I don't know, just odd. Again, 47,000 on a transgender opera in Colombia.
Ooh.
And again, if this was in like Ohio, okay, you know what I mean? Like all right, what's the story behind that? Maybe I get it. It's not even for Americans. This one's wild. I've heard this one quoted so many times too, because it just sounds so silly. Like, what does this even mean? $70,000 to the production of a DEI musical
In Ireland.
in Ireland.
Yeah.
What is? Break that down.
It was
what
it was,
the fuck is
it
a
was
DEI
it was a
musical?
cast full of black transgender male and females, both transgender men and transgender women, and it was a pirate show, and they were all handicapped or retarded in some sort of way, shape, or
Like
form.
in the show or
Yeah.
in real life?
Yeah, they were up there on stage just going the whole time.
So they were actually
Yeah, they were
Mentally
some of them
handicapped
were
people.
deaf and sounded like that. Some of them were just retarded and were leaving out a belt.
This is, I mean, again, what the fuck are we talking about? And you're mad? You're mad that we're not going to send them
just
70
to make
grand?
that clear, that was just a fucking joke, dude.
Oh.
I have no
like,
idea. I have no idea, dude.
It would, with the grand scheme of things, I wouldn't even bat an eye at it.
No.
I'd be like, yeah, I guess that is what they were up
well,
to.
you
Like,
know, those people need to be represented.
Joey B and the boys, fucking just signing everything that they put in front of them. 1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces. Again, a lot of this seems to me like we're pushing our weirdo shit on other countries that doesn't want our weirdo shit, right? So we're
Well-
like injecting it into these different like again, 1.5.
I gotta argue that. So Colombia, I feel like that's a ladyboy country. Peru probably
Sure.
is too.
Sure.
Ireland, I don't see Ireland. Serbia, definitely don't see
Definitely
that.
not
That sounds
Ireland.
Like,
Ireland's
that sounds like silly,
majority-
silliness. Irish Catholic
Yeah, Irish Catholic. They're hardcore. No
or whatever
way.
the fuck they worship.
In Serbia again.
pagans.
That's like where a lot of those
Orthodox Serbians.
Orthodox
Yeah.
churches are, and again, hardcore. They don't fuck around with that shit.
4 million, a center of climate positive development.
Where? Just anywhere?
Well,
Where did
what's
you read that?
what's crazy
Oh,
is
yeah.
I want to see follow ups on these organizations as well if they're even still around. Because in a way, I almost think that these are just shell corporations that were handing money to. And we have no idea who the fuck it is.
Yeah, a lot of them are just very
600,000 to fund technical assistance for family planning in Latin America. Why? Why
So-
are we funding
So again,
anything for Latin America?
That's just to break that down. That is like Planned Parenthoods, basically.
and just to
that's like
also-
abortion clinics.
I'm also going to throw this out there too, because this might be controversial for some people. How about the $50 billion we sent to fucking Ukraine, a country that we're barely allies with, that's not even a part of NATO, to fight a war that we have no stake in whatsoever. And we won't even go into Israel.
Yeah,
But
it's obviously corrupt. It's obvious. It's
a fucking
extremely
joke.
obvious.
It's a joke.
It's getting weird out there.
Dude, with $50 billion, I mean, if they even just took that, I would be way happier if they took that and like just gave it to a state. Just give it to a random state and just be like, hey,
Like a
man,
state
make your
lottery.
shit
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Alabama, for instance.
Yeah.
Give $50 billion to Alabama, dude. Build some smart cities in Alabama. Don't
They're
burn down
trying
LA to fucking
yeah.
build smart
I know.
cities.
Well, that's another weird thing.
in Hawaii,
What's up with that?
it'll
bro?
be Florida next. They'll get us.
Maybe they're talking about that smart rail system that they're bringing down to Tampa, and then it like cuts us off.
They'll probably wipe out the slums of Miami and Tampa and buy those people out.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see that.
Yeah. But that's
But yeah.
after they get us to the insurance companies to drop us.
Interesting shit, man. Interesting shit.
Yeah.
I don't. Again, if you're one of these people, and that's just USAID. We're like, I'm sure we're going to get much more comprehensive lists of all the things that they're finding. I mean, wait till they start breaking open the books on all this
They got
funding
4
for
years.
Ukraine.
They
Where
got
is all
4
that
years.
money going?
Oh, dude.
I'm still seeing
Well, and
like
that's my
clips
thing.
of like just stragglers. Basically, there's no like formality to
No.
that warfare. It's
Dude,
like
I
stragglers.
watched a video of them just handing out AK-47s to citizens. I'm like, are even any of them enlisted?
No.
It's like, and like, I get it if you live in a fucking village that's like, hey, man, there might be Russians coming. You might need weapons.
Yeah.
But they're like handing them out in fucking Kiev. It's like, okay, but isn't this the capital of the city? Like, what are we doing?
I will say, maybe I guess a little bit of a critique. I'm surprised that we don't have solutions in the works on that by now.
What do you mean?
I know that was like one of the things that he was saying that he was going to try and do basically day one was get a hold of Putin, figure shit out with Zelensky.
Didn't Putin do a ceasefire?
They did.
Yeah.
But that was a temporary thing. It's not like I mean, yeah, I guess maybe there's negotiations. I just haven't heard a lot about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they will when something actually happens.
I'd like to see that done. I'd like to see that over with.
Well, actually, you know what, man? Maybe that's why he recently called out the Ukrainian guy and said he was a fucking warlord, which I don't know if you've seen that. That's what they're also
keeps
freaking
denying
out about.
the different offers. Regardless, here's the reality. Ukraine is going to have to give up some of that border, and they're also going to have to accept the terms of not being part of NATO. They've already been denied. Their NATO application's already been denied like 2 or 3 times over the last 4 years because of how much like oligarchy-type corruption they have. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a dictatorship, but it's a soft dictatorship. And what I mean by that is, like, still the people who were, like, ultra-rich and, like,
Run the show.
kind of running shit, like, back when it was very corrupt in the Soviet Union, they didn't go anywhere.
What the fuck is that guy's
They're
name?
still there.
What the fuck is his name? The prime minister, president, the king, whatever the fuck he is.
For Ukraine?
Yes.
Zelensky?
Zelensky. He used to be.
Is his first name Vladimir?
It probably is. That wouldn't surprise me. They used to be Russia people. I don't know if you know this or not. You know, they're fighting over land that they used to own. Who gives a fuck? Once again, not our thing. We shouldn't be involved at all, in my opinion.
Strategically, it does nothing but put more distance
We have
between
nuclear-
Moscow and like their border of a country that wants to be part of NATO. NATO has in the past been aggressive toward Russia. Guys, it's 2 + 2 equals 4. I don't like.
We have ballistic missiles set up in Turkey that have the capability of reaching Russia.
Yeah, and
So then-
Russia has missiles set up that could reach Washington D.C.
100%.
It's like we've all got a gun pointed at each other.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a
when we had
Mexican
Chris
standoff.
on. When we had Chris on talking about the nukes, it's like
5
it only-
minutes.
I don't understand what the point is of all of it. Actually, that was one thing I did hear him talking about that I thought was super interesting. Trump was not necessarily getting rid of nukes, but like stopping the production of nuclear weapons.
We don't need any more.
And like seriously getting rid of part of our stockpile in agreement that other countries will get rid of.
But what do
part
we
of their
do to get rid of
stockpile.
them is what I'm curious about. Would we then use
Honestly,
that plutonium in like nuclear reactors?
No, I don't think you can weaponize. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know that. We need Chris back on to explain that part of it to us. But I assume what they do is they either bury it very, very deep in the ground. And I'm not kidding. Like, that's how they get rid of it. They bury it super deep in the
Isn't that
ground, or
funny?
they just like drop it in like a super deep part of the ocean.
I love that. And like whatever fucking shithole, desert states where they tested the nuclear bombs, it's like essentially where they bury all the toxic waste.
Yep.
Could you imagine like 30 years they're going to build a smart city on top of all that shit? And be like,
They might try.
Your guys' drinking water's going to be fine.
It'll
dude.
be fine. Yeah, you guys are good. That shit's way down there. It's not coming up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, certain areas that they've just designated as like barren wastelands that'll never be anything, they're just like, well, fuck it,
Dude, what a wild world we live in. So much just weird shit.
That part has always been weird to me. Since the day I fully understood nuclear weapons and what the point of having them is, the first question on anybody's mind should be why. So we just all have this fail-safe that we could completely destroy the whole fucking world.
Doesn't that defeat
Why
the
is
purpose?
that a thing? Yeah, what are you saving at that point? Yeah, there's no self-preservation. There's no, it's just, well, you fucked me up, so I'm going to destroy the whole world. And the fact that there's a guy out there that, like, no one has tabs on, like, no one has control over, Kim Jong-un.
Long Dong. Yeah.
It's Un, right? I always
Long
fuck that
Dong,
up.
Jim Jong.
I always want to say Kim Jong-il, but I think that was his like dad, the really funny looking dude with the big glasses that they made fun of in that fucking Team America. Yeah. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So Un, then his son or whatever, but yeah, like this wild card guy that could just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? At any point. And just everybody's like, just a Mexican standoff. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? I don't know. It's so fucking crazy to me, dude.
It's like China's got like a retarded conjoined twin
Yeah.
on their hip. And they're just like,
Yeah.
guys, you can't fuck him up. You're going to fuck me up
Yeah.
too. Don't do that, please.
Leave him alone.
Please just leave him the fuck alone.
Guys, stop making fun of him. Like when they
This guy's fucking crazy.
I mean, literally, we made a movie that depicted us assassinating him. Right, The Interview, and he hacked all of Sony's network, and
he threatened to fucking have everybody killed.
yeah, he started testing rockets and shit. He was
Yeah.
getting wild. He was threatening to fucking kill a bunch of people. He hacked all of Sony's network and like cost them millions of dollars.
And honestly, if anything, that movie made him somewhat more likable.
I agree. It humanized him
it
in
did.
a way. Yeah. I don't know. Again, the fact that guy has nuclear weapons, that guy could set off a whole chain reaction that would literally end the world.
And he was essentially, he's not even qualified. He was born into it.
Yeah.
That's really kind of the crazy thing, too, is like, it's not like he was elected. It's not like he rose to power and showed competency. He is like literally like a prince who just became king and is like,
What's interesting is I don't think that he was Kim Jong-il's only son, so I am interested.
I think he was like
in,
a middle. I think he was like a middle son.
Yeah, he was
I think
like
there
the
was an
oldest
older.
son.
I think there was an older.
And
He
then,
probably
like,
killed him.
Maybe
probably did.
One of his first moves when he got like into office or whatever you'd call that. I guess like one of his uncles that was like rumored that he was trying to like pull a soft coup. You know, that his uncle felt like
Just
he
fucking
should have been.
publicly executed him on the spot.
If publicly executed him by sicking a pack of hungry dogs. That's like a thing. That's
Ooh.
like one of their things for political dissenters.
Oh, you
is that
dishonor your family.
Yes.
I make you get
they'll
eaten by a pack of
they'll literally
dogs.
starve these dogs for like days and then just sick the dogs up. Yeah. How
That's the worst fucking way to die.
That's like I can't even burn me alive. Drown me. Holy shit.
A
Just
fucking
being
dog
ripped
just
apart
ripping
by
you
a
up.
pack of dogs.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's rough. To his own uncle.
Do you think
I
those?
mean-
Do you think those dogs have funny accents too when they
Yeah.
bark?
Oh, this is good. rough.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll get in trouble for that one.
oh, whatever, dude. Listen, I have no problem with Asian people, but you can't tell me that you don't laugh when you hear them talk. Sometimes
They're
It's
like, I don't even think that should be a thing, bro. Like statistically, Asians, even if you just go off the statistics in America, Asians do way better than white people. Like on average, they have better, higher paying jobs. They have higher incomes, obviously.
watch where you're going with this.
Well, I'm saying.
Watch where you're going with this.
I'm just saying Asian privilege.
because I could see this going
they're
towards another group of people.
More Asians go into colleges and get like 4
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like 8-year degrees and like it's like a whole or 6-year degrees. It's a whole thing,
Dude.
Like it's a whole statistic that Asian people do.
It's wild to me
really
that
well.
They get sent to American universities.
Higher IQs, they're more intelligent.
They don't have bigger dongs, though.
I mean,
That is quite a drawback.
Grant, the Lord has to cap everybody in
Just
some
a little
way or
bit,
another.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if you just take like the average like Asian American and the average African American and pit
There's
those
some
guys,
varying differences.
some huge differences there. And it's obvious that the Lord gives everybody a strength and weaknesses. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And
I'm not going to talk about any weaknesses other than maybe the Asian ones, but we're not going to talk about black people because people get upset about that, specifically white women. But
yeah, they seem very invested.
Fried chicken and watermelon.
Yeah. They seem very invested.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh,
honestly,
man.
if you haven't had,
They have a weakness for it.
if you haven't had fried chicken and watermelon in the same
Well,
meal,
it's-
you're missing out.
It's
Like,
crazy.
it is fantastic.
It's crazy to me that gets. Here's my thing. I feel like there's a large number of black people in the South. All Southern people love fried chicken and watermelon.
And collard greens and all the.
That is not
I
just
used
a black
dude,
thing.
I used to. It's not, and it's actually pretty. It's pretty obvious why it's a favorite food of theirs, and I'll cover that because it's history.
You don't need to cover that.
I will.
I know
but-
where
but
that's
it-
going.
But it's
you don't
history.
have to cover that.
It's history.
Don't cover it.
But I remember thinking that as a little kid because like
Let's stay on Asians.
I always grew up.
I'm not kidding.
I'm
I'm
not
not
kidding.
kidding.
I'm gonna fucking say
God
it.
damn.
Buckle up.
I'm going to say the word.
Strap in. I'm gonna say it. I always just thought that as a little kid though, like because I grew up, hush puppies, cornbread, collard greens, fried chicken,
a
black
fucking-
eyed peas, and rice, and
And look at
it's
your
like-
dad.
Which one?
Your Andrew.
Yeah.
Was he the one cooking these foods?
Yeah, I'm talking like on my biological dad's side, and then
Oh,
also
gotcha.
like
Those
my mom,
families.
just
Gotcha.
being in the South and embracing Southern culture, right? I always thought that was weird as a little kid, and like you'd see like stuff like up north, black people call that soul food. So they're like, oh yeah, it is black food, this is our food, this is our culture, and I remember thinking like,
But it's not.
well, I was like, where'd that come from? Because like,
Oh.
why do we cook it and think that it's good?
Why do a lot of
Why
them
do
have
all Southern white
have
people
the last
love the
names
same
of,
food?
of Jefferson
All right, now
and
see, you're taking it to a whole
Johnson
nother
and
level, dude. Well, I was just gonna say
Davis and
there was a time period in our history where slavery was abolished, right? But we still treated black people really poorly, and so most jobs that they were able to get were in the service industry, specifically personal service industry, meaning like a lot. It was a very, very common job for black women to work. I don't even really know, like as a maid, I guess. Like and like the cliche thing to call it back in the day was the help, right? So they were just help. I hired help, right? And that's what they'd say. And it was almost always a black woman, and she would cook and clean and help take care of the kid, like a nanny, kind of, you know what I mean? But like just to do everything, like would almost live there, and in
Yeah.
some cases would live in the house.
it was basically
But-
slavery.
but
Let's be honest.
really
It
was.
was still
And they'd
basically
get
slavery.
paid a very low wage. You know what I mean? So it's like, but in that time frame of culture is where a lot of the Southern food came from, right? And of course they cooked it the best because they were cooking it all the time, and it's what they cooked for themselves. And you know what I mean? So it's like, it was. Sometimes I'll have questions, and I'm dedicated to find the answer because I want it to make sense, and that's the answer to that. So, soul food is really just Southern food, but I'll give it to them. They can have it.
It's weird to me that people nowadays are so disillusioned with history that they reach out and grab for things that aren't there, like trying to claim certain cultures are theirs, but it's really not.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to go all the way down that road.
We
but-
don't.
It's really not just black people. Like I see Hispanic people say stuff. And I'm just
everything.
like,
That's not your.
that's not from Puerto Rico. You got that from Spain, actually,
well, again,
sir.
You got to remember. I mean, when I say Europe, I'm counting Spain.
Yeah. Well,
I'm counting Portugal. I mean,
Yeah.
think about all the. I don't think Portugal gets blamed enough for the crazy shit they were doing, dude. Portugal was all over the place. I mean, they were over there
Conquistadors.
stoking the fire with the Asians way before the English or the Dutch or anybody got over there. They were the
Yeah.
first ones to find the trading route to like Japan, and they were over there stoking that fire and funding Japan to the point that they could go into China and fucking take slaves from China. I mean, this is like they taught them how to do that. Like they're like, oh yeah, we do slave trade all the time. Here, we'll show you how. Take
You guys
these
don't like
guys.
these guys?
Yeah,
Let's grab
you don't
these
like
guys.
Them? Take them. Yeah, they're less than you because they're not as technically advanced as you, and that's really how it went.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't even like a race theory came way after. It was just yeah, they're good. They don't know what's going on.
You guys
so
are still living in mud
huts.
huts, man?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really, seriously. It wasn't even like, gosh, I mean, you got to think like the African slave trade was the last one. Slaves were being transported and taken all over the world.
Thousands of years.
It's such a cliche white guy to be like, we were slaves before blacks. Yeah, technically.
Everybody was slaves.
Everybody at
slaves.
one point was subject to slavery, whether it was specifically the whole culture or just some of the unlucky ones.
Well, the thing that blows...
indentured servitude was like a totally normal thing in English culture all the way up to like the 1700s.
Dude,
you would literally...
There's still slavery to
it
this
was like
day.
loans, basically. You would basically take a loan from a nobleman to buy a house, and then you would say you're an indentured slave.
So for the rest of your
pay
time,
off that debt.
you just serve them, essentially. The rest of your
Whatever
poor
they want.
little lifespan. Yeah.
They would sign up for it.
Yeah.
You know? And that I'm saying like in modern times, 1700s in England were like, you know, that was peak technology in society, you know.
For them, absolutely.
For the world.
They're actually
there was
reverting.
nobody on top of England in the 1700s.
They're actually reverting. You're going to see swords being carried around in England again relatively soon. That's what happens when you...
Yeah, they're kind of already doing it, aren't they? With knives. Aren't knives banned?
Yeah.
How's that work?
And honestly, and this is funny because now I've brought Idris Elba up twice. I watched a fucking documentary, or not documentary, interview with him, and he was literally saying, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal. You know, you have your kitchen knives and you have to get them registered." I was like,
What?
What?
That's a real thing?
Yeah, you have to get knives.
So you can't just go down to Walmart and buy like
I don't think
the
so.
Pioneer Woman kitchen knife set?
I don't think so. And what's crazy
Paris
is
Hilton set?
it's not British people committing crimes with knives.
I mean, it is.
No,
but not right now.
it's not.
Statistically, it's not as many.
Statistically, it's a certain group of people that have been or you know, what do you call that word?
Let me give you a history lesson, dude.
Migrating, I guess you could say, to England.
So,
Migrants.
roughly 100 years ago,
Immigrants.
some
Refugees.
migrants came into different places in Europe.
Couple years ago?
Roughly 100 years ago. Some migrants came into some different places, prominent places in Europe, and made things bad for the local population. And then that local population...
Oh, God damn it.
I didn't say... that local population decided to expel the
by any
immigrants.
means necessary.
And I think we're starting to see a rise of that again. I mean, dude,
It's not good.
when we get to a point to where calls for the Fourth Reich in Germany are actually like
Happening.
catching steam, let's chill, guys. Like, let's chill out. You know what I mean? Norm Macdonald has a fucking
R.I.P. Norm.
had a great fucking joke about he's like essentially just Germany, and you know, like, I don't remember what was happening at that time when he was making the joke, but essentially like, hey, you know, Germany, they're like pretty good at this war stuff. I mean, there was a time when they fought a whole war, and as their enemy, they picked the whole world and got pretty close. And then, you know, about 20 to 30 years later, they did it again and got even closer. And he's like, maybe we should all just fucking leave Germany alone, you know? Like, stop fucking with them, you know? It's like,
Those are getting bad, dude. You're seeing to the point where they're just like openly protesting it too. It's like that's
calling for.
Yeah.
And the main
And those guys aren't out there with tiki torches covering up their faces and shit. They're
open about it. You're talking like prominent politicians and people like talking
that are actually
this.
somewhat. Yeah.
So the most popular candidate right now for whatever their, I guess, conservative
You say
right
conservative.
party
Yeah.
is the guy that's like, no, we need a Fourth Reich. Is he going like full Hitler? I don't think so. I haven't heard what he's got to say.
That's the thing. Poland's right next to them. So from my perspective, from what they're saying is they want to be like Poland. They want to shut down their border. Fuck you. No one can come in here unless you're already in here. Whatever, we'll grandfather you. But from now on, we're not taking any more of you fuckers.
Everybody called that guy racist at first, but he's now. Every time they have those UN or EU meetings, have you seen those clips of him? Oh, dude, I
Does
like
he go
him.
up there just
He's
fucking?
got some pizzazz. Oh, dude, the last time he's like, "Who's got the last laugh now?" Like literally said that. He's
Fuck
like,
you guys.
You all called me racist. Now look at you. Your crime rates are spiking. You've got poverty rates out
Dude,
the
I-
roof.
I saw-
rapists through the window. He's like, you guys. He's like, Poland, we didn't take one, and look at us.
I
Our
saw-
rates are even better
I
than
saw
they were 5 years ago.
a fucking bar graph depicting the increases of rape and murder in Scandinavian countries, the UK, pretty much
It's
most of
over
advanced.
double in almost all of them.
Oh, dude, fucking. Let me tell you
Probably
something.
more than double because they had relatively low
Fucking
rates. like,
Norway and
compared to the rest of the world.
Norway and Sweden and all that.
They're getting it bad.
It's like they hit like a fucking 200% multiplier on a fucking video game. I mean, that shit's skyrocketing. And most of the targets are fucking like blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like white women.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and we can just be honest. We can just say it's Muslim immigrants that are doing
Yeah.
most of these things. I don't know if you guys caught on to that or not, but like, and listen, I've met Muslim people who are very kind, like sweet people while I was at school. I don't think all Muslim people are bad, but I
no,
think
but the ones that come from those
that's what I was about to
broken-ass
say. So
societies,
those ones that come
those
from areas
war-torn,
where they're
broken-
literally still drawing and quartering people and stoning people and
Yeah.
throwing people off
This is a
buildings
total
for being
culture shock.
gay.
Yeah.
they can't come to America and just be cool with girls wearing yoga pants. They freak the fuck
they
out.
Can't handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
These people. You got to be careful when you say these people.
Well, I would even
You
say
people.
I would even say their culture. I think it's
It
more
is.
their that particular
Again,
subset of my immigrant culture.
Yes.
Of those people
Where
from
they're
those
from.
regions.
Yes. From
I
those
don't,
countries.
I don't think a Muslim person from what's the crazy
Well,
awesome
again,
city?
Muslim. Let's make the distinction. Muslim is
religion.
A religion.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah.
So when
Islam?
so when yeah, so
Islamic?
when Islamic is also Islam, Muslim. Islam is the religion. A Muslim is what you call a person who practices Islam,
gotcha.
right? I guess, right? Like Christianity, a Christian, but so not all people who practice Islam, right? But almost all people from those countries, this is a culture shock.
Yeah.
They're going to like a civilized society with like working toilets and stuff. You're talking like people from a war, like they haven't known anything.
They literally
but,
live
like,
in stone
blown-up-ass
buildings
fucking
with like
buildings.
barely any
Yeah,
electric, no AC.
These people shit in the alley, and again, it's like you could shit on them for that. It's not necessarily
It's
their
a different
fault.
lifestyle.
But when you're bringing them over, as many as they are, and you're putting them all into like these same neighborhoods, they're gonna live the way that they're used to
Yes,
living.
they're not going
They're
to
not
change
gonna
immediately.
assimilate, and that's what makes America different. Is like it's
It's like
so
Irish
spread
or
out.
Italian people in the ghettos.
It's a great
and
example.
Irish people. Honestly,
It's a great example, and that's literally how street gangs got started
Yeah.
because shit was so violent and so bad that they
They
had
had to
have
band
these
together.
gangs to defend themselves from
Yeah.
each other. You know, that's a great point that you brought that up. I mean, it's not like it's not a race thing; it's a culture thing.
Yeah.
It really is, because even white races have been at one point or another uncivilized and barbaric. You could
To
say
each other, yeah,
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Yeah. I mean, so it's like.
Dude, I think Italian people are still pissed off that they're considered white now.
Why?
I don't think they really like. I think they're like, come on, dude. Like, we're not.
Well, what are they?
They're Eastern European.
Southern European,
Italians,
Italians?
southeast. Is that southeast?
Mediterranean. We'll
Mediterranean. I mean, it's different. It's definitely different. It's not the same as Western Europe by any means. I feel like when they're getting lumped into that, and I feel like they don't necessarily like that because you do lose your identity. Fucking people look at Irish people now, and you're just like, oh, you're just fucking white. It's
Yeah.
like, no, but
Okay,
like
so,
we're
like-
different from British Saxon people.
That's
you know?
a good distinction. Yeah. So you've
That's what
got
I'm
your
saying.
Anglo-Saxon, Germanic people who spread out through like Germany, Poland, eventually,
And
I guess Russia.
Listen, and people also, if you're
Scandinavia.
freaking out about how like in depth we're going with race, dude, this is.
It's historical.
It's
I feel like we're
historical,
talking about it from a historical
And it's such
point
an
of view.
interesting thing.
It really
is. It's so like different cultures, learning about them, so cool. You should do it. There are some that aren't as great as others.
Don't be so uptight.
There are some that aren't as great as others. Let's be honest.
Cultures or races?
Oh, cultures. I'm sorry.
Almost got him. Almost
cultures.
got him.
Cultures. Races. Given that they're all within the same, I got to defend myself here because you put me on the hot seat. Given that they're all from the same area, same or a similar culture, I don't think there's any difference with races, like literally at all.
No.
But I think if you grow up in a subsection of an area where you're surrounded by one particular culture,
you are a product of that.
Exactly.
100%, man.
And that happens with white people, black people, Middle Eastern people.
Yes,
fucking,
because
you go down the whole list.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your actual real deal. A real deal racist is a person who hates anybody who is not his race that he identifies with.
And also just
just for being that race.
Just
it
to go into
about
depth
the person, the culture,
on
what
that.
they say, what they don't say.
When you say a racist, we're not talking about someone who talks about statistics or talks about, certain stereotypes. We're talking about someone who fucking hates a group of people so much that they can't share a fucking bathroom or a fucking water fountain or kills them on sight or beats them up, whatever.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Because
that word gets thrown around way too much nowadays.
You mean Muslims?
Well, we'll go into that in a second. This is not where I thought this episode was going to go, but I don't mind.
We're just joshing around, but I'm huge. I know me and you both. Look at this fucking
Muslims.
wall. Who goes out of their way to collect all this shit from fucking World War I and World War II? No one. I do, because I fucking love history, right? I love wartime history especially, but just history in general. I think if everybody just had a little bit of a dose of it, because like what you were just saying about Italians, that's actually true because they're Latin based, right? So they are different than your northern, what you'd consider Western, right? Europeans.
Very different history.
Completely different. And they intertwine with each other, their histories, but they never actually
fully merged
blend.
or anything. Yeah.
Right. They kept their own cultural identity.
The Irish and the fucking and the English didn't until like the last 60, 70 years.
The fucking Irish were
and they still hate the fucking British.
Some of the last white savages.
Yeah.
I mean, really. The what do they call them? The Celts and the Picts?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were literally like nomadic tribes.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty much
they were straight up tribes.
But nobody knows that.
I'm not talking
so
Scottish.
They were essentially
like
Vikings.
Clans. Well, kind of. You got your Picts and your Celts that were actual just like pagan tribes.
Yeah,
but
that's
worship the sun god and the wind god and the ground god. And
but that's what I'm saying.
Like Native
Completely
Americans,
different.
but like way more fucking
fucked
violent.
up. Yeah,
like fucking crazy. I mean, really, I don't think if we interceded, there would be many Irishmen left because they all would have killed each other. But they love a good fight, I guess. But yeah, and then you've got your Vikings who just stayed out of it. Again, had it not been for the modern day Germans, Germanic Europe, that whole northern top region that separates Scandinavia, the Romans would have gotten up there too and influenced that. But they didn't because they never could make it all the way through Germania. They gave up. They walked away. It's one of the only places probably in the modern known world that they were not able to conquer and tried a lot.
Yeah.
Just couldn't make it happen.
We talked about that the other day, the beginning of Gladiator. I had no idea they were fighting the fucking Germanic people.
Yeah, Germanic, which is all
I figured it was fucking
now.
Vikings. No, it's crazy German people.
Vikings were relatively small. I mean, like, again, to think about that is like had the Romans broken through Germania and gone to Scandinavia, Viking culture may have not even had a chance to blossom or be a thing.
Yeah,
because
might have just gotten fucked up.
Yeah, because they were relatively small. They had no like armies, and like they didn't understand modern fighting tactics. They didn't have catapults, and you know what I mean.
Siege
they were
equipment.
very siege equipment. No, they would have gotten fucked up. They had no castles. They had no like structure like
it's
that.
It's very hard to roll up on a boat and just take shit over.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Unless you're,
I won't take anything
American.
away from the Vikings, but where they eventually got their foothold in
another civilized
the rest of Europe,
civilization,
they were kind of they got a cheap shot in. Because they were going up there and attacking like monasteries and stuff.
Villages and shit.
And they weren't like prepared to. Yeah. They had no idea there was.
They weren't sieging
people up there.
They weren't sieging castles.
It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Eventually, they learned that type of warfare.
Well, they called them like raiders
from the Scottish.
Yeah,
they taught them siege warfare and like that type of shit. But at first, they just rolled up on boats with swords and shields, and were just incredibly violent. And then just all these villagers and monastery like. monks and shit with the shaved heads. We're just like, what the fuck, Yeah, pretty cool. And now all of Scottish, like the heritage of Scottish people, like if you go through and take DNA tests from everybody, they almost all of them have integrated with Viking DNA.
That makes sense.
Yep.
No.
Have you gotten any kind of? Yeah,
I refuse.
I have it in there. It's not a lot, but it's all like 2, 3, 4%.
When I found out that they were selling the information to insurance companies on what people were predisposed to as far as heart conditions, cancer, stuff like that, I was like, no.
I think it's hilarious that they took $50 to $100 from me to tell me that, and then figured out a way to make more money off of that information that I willingly gave them.
And on top of that, if you think that
that's capitalism,
the government doesn't have access to that DNA after you submitted it, you are crazy.
Well, my thing, I remember us talking about that too, is because like for the longest time you didn't want to do like the NFA and the fingerprints thing, and
that went
like,
out the door.
Submit your biometrics. Well, my thing was they already had it. They got my biometrics when I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
So they've had it on file. You know what I mean? They literally have a Q-tip.
It's just
with
scary.
my DNA on it.
It's just scary to me.
Somewhere in a locker.
That's like literally.
It's crazy to think.
I feel like that's like a basic human right is for them to not have that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
we gotta be careful, dude. Look again. All the government corruption. This is from us being complacent and lazy.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is generations of us being just complacent, lazy, not caring. People used to sit. I mean, you think about the revolution. People used to sit. That was like one of the major topics that people would converse about and talk about was what's going on with the government. What's going on with these people that we elected? Are they doing the job?
They would do it at bars, and they get pissed off, and then they go do the Boston Tea Party.
Exactly. This is how people got fired up in the first place because they were politically involved, and now there's so many distractions that we just don't care. We outsource all of it.
The baby boomers, I swear, they're the most unaware group of people. They don't. One, they have no idea what's going on with inflation because everything's great to them. They've all made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But also, like, my grandmother, baby boomer, love her to death, I think. Yeah, she's a baby boomer.
No idea.
Yeah. She was born she was born in the 40s.
Yeah.
So she's
I'm saying like they just
she was mind blown.
No idea what's going on around.
She was mind blown when I explained to her that Al Qaeda and, which is funny you brought that up, Al Qaeda and ISIS were both created by the United States. She was like, she's like, that can't be real. I was like, give me 2 seconds, I'll Google it right now, and like, sure as shit, it shows up. Yeah, oh yeah, we funded them, trained them. It's like, yeah, dude, we're not as great as everybody thinks. You shouldn't trust the government. You shouldn't trust them at all.
I'll tell you this though, like one good thing I do see about all this, I guess, like you could say like social media and just like the easiness to access information, like through the internet or whatever. The younger like generation under us coming up is way more politically involved. I think a lot of them are kind of on the wrong side of it, meaning like they're going through school and getting like that indoctrination of like the liberal way is the way that you need to be correct. Yeah. Right. That for whatever reason, conservatism is evil or, capitalism's bad and evil.
They do a good job brainwashing.
Capitalism, the way it's set up, absolutely gets taken advantage of by greedy fucking assholes.
Well, that's what I was talking about when I said modern day slavery is still.
It's not a perfect system by any means. But guys, we've already done the socialism thing. We've done the communism thing.
Doesn't work.
It's not. It didn't work like at all. And that's not to say that. Oh well, you could have had a more benevolent, like good. It fell every time.
Corruption.
Even Rome, like their experiment with different types of government. I mean, again, the golden age of Rome was a constitutional republic, which is what America is considered to be still, even though all I hear is our democracy, our democracy. We're not a fucking democracy.
It's a republic.
We are a republic. We are a constitutionally based republic. Don't let people fucking talk you into that shit. And again, where did Rome fall? Democracy. That's where you had all these splits, all the disagreement, and the deadlocks. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain point, you do have to have some things streamlined to be able to get things done. Like what you're seeing right now, why people are like, oh, Trump's acting like a dictator. And
it's because he's getting shit done. We won the House.
Things done. And I don't, it's so hard for me to have trust in anybody who's in a position of political power that I can't sit here and tell you, oh no, this is for the better good. Everything's going to work out. I don't know. But I hope so. I'm hopeful about it. You know what I mean? And we won't go into it, but looking at Project 2025, if you're against it, go read it and then tell me you're against it. I mean, really. Unless you are like a flag-burning atheist. I mean, it's like the only type of person I could see that would be against that type of initiative. I think
that's the thing too, man.
Is a person who's just an anarchist who doesn't want anything. That just doesn't work.
So many people are like head in the ground atheists, where like it's strange to me. It's like they're in a hurry to get through life and just die, and they just want to exist. And it's so strange to me that they don't want to like just stop and like look around and like try to fix things. Or maybe see it from a perspective where, hey, you shouldn't be able to do whatever the fuck you want. They just like literally just like, I want to live my life, do the things that I like, and go and perish and cease to exist. And fuck it, my kids will be fine. It's like, dude, what? Like you don't want to instill a moral compass in your kids.
Yeah,
exactly. Like
nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing will ever make a difference in the grand scheme of the universe.
I mean, dude, we work with people that. Sometimes when they speak their political mind, it just scares me how much they don't care and how much they don't look into anything else at all, and they just take
no idea.
No.
Yep. Yeah.
It really scares me when I
and
hear,
that's a fucking luxury, honestly. Like, really, that is like that is a first world.
It's crazy.
First world problems, that's a luxury to just not give a fuck about anything that's going on around you.
They just want to hurry up, retire,
and just know
die.
that everything's going to be fine and nothing matters. It's like it does matter, and we're getting to that point. We're getting to that flashpoint where things are going to look really fucking different in America if we keep going the way we were going.
It's going to get really bad.
Like, think about how bad shit is just right now compared to 10 years ago, 2014. Or 2015. Think about how much more affordable things were just 10 years ago, and now make all of that make sense for me. Like, really, make it make sense. You could blame COVID. Really, seriously, does milk still cost double what it did 10 years ago because of COVID? Still now, 5 years later, stop. Like, we're letting the people who are on autopilot let these things happen. They continue to go to the store. They bitch about how much milk costs, but they still buy it.
I talked to a local rancher, and from what he tells me is that farmers are not getting more money for their crops and their cows.
Interesting. So the middlemen who are making more.
It's the processors that are upcharging everything.
Yep. Shipping and processing,
I mean, their prices have gone up a little bit on meat. You're talking 10%.
Well, they have
which is like
with everything
exactly to match the crazy greed inflation.
Everybody just passes the potatoes like, not my problem. It's not my fault. I gotta charge more because they're charging more. I gotta charge more. Okay, let's get down to where did it start? Where is it starting? Who's the starting line that says it's this? Now it's this much.
Well, that's also what killed me is like when gas and diesel jumped. I got it. I understood why shit costs more because shit costs more to fucking move. That makes a little bit of sense. Prices have come down on gas and diesel. Oh shit!
Yeah, I'd say we're back to like an average,
almost normal.
I mean, it seems like we fluctuate between like $2.30 and $3 like all the time, back and forth.
Groceries haven't gone down at all.
They've only gone up. They've only continued to go up.
Why?
I don't know. Everybody's freaking out about eggs right now because of all the bird flu stuff, which there was like 2 cases.
And they killed like fucking, but they killed millions of chickens over it.
Yeah.
Is bird flu that bad? What are even the symptoms?
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't even know that it was transferable.
I have never even heard of a person getting bird flu.
There was like, again, I don't even want to look it up, but there was like a couple cases in the U.S., so they got freaked out and they like killed a bunch of chickens that it wouldn't
do those people
spread to
die?
People. I don't think so. I think
you turn into a bird.
You turn into start squawk. You have feathers. You'll cough up feathers. Actually, you'll start squawking, and then I think ultimately what ends up killing people is you think you can fly, so you go to the top of a tall building and you take that leap. Yeah, like a young little yearling bird. You know, difference is you're not going to fly.
Well, we're not built for it. We don't have the pectoral muscles to flap our wings. You know.
Again, I get it, I guess. Like, I'm not like that.
Against
at least makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like mad
Now,
cow
let's
disease.
See, though, let's see. Do the prices come back down? Or is it going to be the bird flu excuse for the next 5 years? That's the point that gets me, where it's like, is it actually more expensive to produce and ship a gallon of milk than it is a gallon of gasoline? And if so, make that make sense for me.
I'm allowed to own chickens in my neighborhood, by the way. Found out about this at the last.
In fucking Port Charles?
Yeah. A lot of have chickens, a lot of have turkeys. You can have turkey eggs if you want to do turkey eggs.
You can have a turkey.
Yeah. You can have wild turkeys.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
swear to
No
God.
way.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh, that's your,
Those are my
your
keys.
keys are falling out.
Jingle jangling.
Yeah, don't forget your wallet either.
I will.
You
I
will.
will.
You motherfucker, you
I
will.
will.
We'll be chasing you down Monday. Where are you, man? I got your shit.
I'd forget my fucking
Just
head.
don't fucking run into my door again, okay, dude? Okay? I'll make sure all my doors are shut.
They didn't
and
have
I'll
to know
find
about that. They didn't.
They
have to
don't know. They'll never know.
Dude, I bent
The
this.
ones who know, know.
I hit this dude's door in reverse and bent that shit all the way like past where it's supposed to stop at the fucking hinges. It's so bad, dude.
He sure
it's not-
did.
And then I bought a dent removal kit. We just
still haven't used it.
Haven't brought it.
Yeah.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah. It is what it is.
No, it's not. That was a dickhead. That was a
Nah, it
dickhead
was-
dumb fuck move.
I'm just glad you didn't
On
run
my
over the
day
back
off.
of my
I
foot.
wasn't even
know. What
supposed
the
to be
fuck were you
there.
doing there, man?
Work fucking
a bad omen.
Work sucks, dude.
You can't be going to work on your day off. It's like
Bad things happen.
bad shit happens, dude.
That's how you get fired on your day off.
Fucking lost my drone today. Fucking
Flying around?
going to work. I was at work.
Yeah, he's just given up on fighting the autism.
Yes, I've fully given in to the
Alston
tism.
is just he's getting into drones now. He's got stage 5 tism. It's bad. Next, it'll be Legos.
Dude.
That's when you got it bad. That's like fatal level autism.
All right, but Legos are awesome. Maybe we'll start a Lego.
Let's do a
YouTube
Lego
Yeah.
channel. Let's do a Lego channel.
bro.
We'll talk about Muslims while we build the fucking Millennium Falcon. Conservative Lego
Honestly,
talk.
It would get views, dude. It would get views.
Yeah, well,
The
yeah, because
tisms?
we'd be so fucking stupid.
Dude, all the statistics would be like, whoa.
And we build everything out of color just to fuck with them.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, there's a YouTube page that these parents did where they just buy toys for their kid and they let them play with them. And he has like millions of, like, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars like a month
Yep.
from a kid playing with fucking toys.
The last I looked, I'm sure shit has changed now, but the highest grossing YouTube channels, like 2 of the 5 in the list, were those types of channels where it's literally just toy unboxing.
We should
They
do.
just go to Walmart or a toy store, buy a toy, and then like unbox it and like kind of play with it for a second.
We should do toy unboxes while we talk about Hitler and what happened throughout World War II.
So like just like World War II history.
yeah, just indoctrinate these kids into the Fourth Reich. You know,
into the Fourth Reich. This could be a thing, man. I don't know. I just think that was wild. When I heard that, I was like, guys, what are we doing?
Whoa, this is like a sign.
Slow down.
This is a sign of the end of the world. Does anyone else seeing this?
I
This
mean,
is
dude, they're
good.
not going to lose a third time. They're just not going to let it happen. Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. I mean, it'll never get to that point. There's so much more.
It's
like,
when they start
liberal over
invading
in Europe.
Poland. That's when we got to start being a little. We got to start being a little careful.
Honestly, this time they'll
They'll
click
take it.
up with Poland.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the first move. Poland's like everything they want to be right now.
You guys want to have an all-white Western European? Let's go. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah, they show them. See what we were trying to do? You know, Poland's
It's
like,
so
all right, we
clean.
get
There's
it.
no
Yeah.
crime.
It is bad though, and again, it's like we get kind of just putting an end cap on that. It is a culture thing. It's absolutely a culture thing. There are
We kind of
highly
stopped, like,
successful.
3/4 of the way into that
Yeah, we
conversation.
gave up on it, but there are highly successful black people all over the world. Like incredibly intelligent, highly successful. Like Ben Carson's a great example. Just like dude's a fucking brain surgeon. Like talks circles around you. Super intelligent. He's African American. So what's the difference? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I've heard the arguments, right?
It's how you're raised in the
100%.
culture that you decide to embrace.
Yes, 100%.
And I've met.
And sometimes people are a victim to that. I'll go as far as saying that.
I do.
Like, for sure.
I
if you
agree.
grow
I
up
do
in
agree.
the South Side of Chicago, O Block, like, that's the chances of you getting out
Slim
and
to
doing
none.
something different, or slim to none, because that culture is so. It's not only hard to get out of, but like you're born into that type
shame
of poverty.
You. They shame you
they'll
into
shame
it.
you for trying to get out and do good in school. The schools in that area that are available to you are riddled with violence and shit. It's almost like a survival thing at a certain point. Like you kind of have to embrace
Join or die.
that, right? Or just constantly get fucked with and beat up. It's like I do get it. Like I'm not. I won't say like that. You just gotta say no and do that. It's like no, man. Sometimes it's an unavoidable situation.
I feel really bad,
but
I've met a lot of black people through my time playing college football. That's just kind of the truth behind the sport. A lot of African American people, and honestly, not even African American people, but also Caribbean people. Just a whole. I hate African American. Such a stupid term.
It's a stupid term.
But dude, mixed kids have it really hard. They have it
they
really
have to
hard.
choose which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them
And
come
you never
from
quite fit in.
a lot of them come from
perfectly.
like conservative-esque families. And they have like a very stern, serious black dad who's very involved in their life.
Yeah.
And dude, they like it's the way that you see them get treated by other people that didn't have that same upbringing is like it's fucking wild. Like if roles
interesting.
were reversed and a white
Yeah.
person had said some shit like that to them, you'd be like, you should fucking kill him. That's terrible. Like why would you say that? It's crazy. It's crazy.
I never really thought about it like that. Man, they kind of got it fucked on both sides.
I won't say his name because he's a semi-famous person, but and I had a locker right next to him. He's the nicest guy. He was a mixed kid. He was a quarterback. He's doing great things now. Like I said, I don't want to name drop him because I don't want anything to get back to him. But I'll never.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak Prescott. No, I'm not even gonna go that far. He is successful in football. We'll just leave it at that. But it was 2016, and people started fucking with him because like they knew he was white, right? You voted for Trump, didn't you? You voted for Trump. And like literally one kid got up in his face while I was sitting like naked next to him, and I just got out of the shower. Let's not be too weird about this. I wasn't like jerking off while these guys are fucking talking to each other. Oh, yeah. But I'll never forget.
It's getting heated in here.
This big black dude like starts kind of getting in his face and was like, man, like I don't know how you could vote for him. Like they were playing like fuck Donald Trump or whatever after he won the election.
This kid did vote for.
Yeah, and he's like, I know you voted for him, and he literally turned and was like, yeah, I did. Like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I believe him and what he says. Like, I don't think everything's perfect. I think this country needs to go back in certain ways. And was, like, actually trying to explain himself. The other guy wasn't fucking having it. So I stood up and was like, hey, man, like, did you fucking vote?
Was your dick out at this point?
My dick was out. My dick was 100% out.
Shit.
I got what I got. And
what a brave
I flaunt
move.
it. Well, here's the thing. Nobody wants to fight you naked. And I'll tell you another story after this. It's hilarious. Yeah. I was like, hey, man,
also is true.
Did you fucking vote? And he's like,
well, no.
No, I didn't vote. I didn't have time for that shit. I was like, okay, so why are you giving him a fucking hard time? I was like, you could have canceled his vote out if you just went and fucking voted. Like, you're not even fucking participating. Yeah. How can you possibly give people shit about who they voted for and you didn't even fucking vote?
Yeah, that's crazy.
If you really loved Hillary Clinton that much, why didn't you vote, motherfucker? And then I went down the whole road. I was like, do this. Look up fucking Super Predators.
I knew you were going to say that.
Look up Super Predators from the fucking 90s, from the New York 5 or whatever it was called.
She didn't mean it.
And you tell me Hillary Clinton is the most racist fucking cunt you've ever heard of in your life.
I mean,
and I swear to God, that same guy came back the next day. He's like, yeah, you're right. I was like, okay, thank you. Like, what the fuck? Can I tell a quick story?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say it is that I'll just say this, though, about the whole 2016 thing. That scared me how quickly
it was bad.
People, like, just because the news said a thing, were like, I hate him. I want him to fucking die. It's like, you don't even know
Despite
for sure.
all sorts of famous black people coming out and saying, like, Donald Trump's a great guy. Like,
So that to me was like where I started, like, yo, we're getting wild, dude. Like, these people have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And
part of
they
the reason
would
why I voted for
call
him 3
for
times.
his execution right now. Because the news said a thing.
Kathy Lee Griffin made
With
a
the
fucking
fucking
head,
yeah.
like a realistic decapitated head that freaked out when everyone tried to cancel her. She was like, oh, it's just a joke. That's not funny.
It wasn't a joke.
It's not a joke.
Yes, that's crazy.
Then they're amazed when someone tries to assassinate him, and they still didn't stop
I can't
saying
believe
he's a
somebody
threat
would
to
try
democracy.
Yeah.
Guys.
And they just, I mean, what, he had
This
like
is-
2 weeks grace period,
this
then they
is
were
not-
right back to Donald Trump needs to die.
This isn't the answer. Literally, the next
Guys.
segment is Donald Trump enacting the same laws as Hitler. It's like, oh my God, dude, fucking stop. They're burning
Yeah,
books. Stop.
They like lectured people, and they're like, we can't have this kind of stuff in our democracy. Don't shoot at the, you know, is Donald Trump Hitler?
Well, they also did it in a cunty way where
Will
they
he be
spun
the
it.
end of our democracy?
They spun it and they're like, you guys are making him out to be a martyr now. Like, don't do that. That makes it even worse. It's
Yeah.
like the fact that you guys can acknowledge, like on a real human level, that this was just wrong and you guys played a huge part in this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that they almost got like reprimanded for it. Yeah. But continue your point. What's your story?
Fighting naked. This is a great tactic. If you get bullied in school, just pull your pants down.
Yeah.
So we were running inside drill one day when I was at Eastern Kentucky. It was my last year. I'm 23 years old. I'm fucking jacked as fuck, 330 pounds, probably 20% body fat. Old man going up against little kids.
Sex.
Pretty much. And inside period is literally running up the middle every fucking play. And the defense knows what plays you're running, so it's very hostile. That's where all the fights break out. So I'm playing guard. I knock the shit out of this defensive end. I keep pushing him till the whistle. The kid fucking turns and slaps me in the face. I just beat the shit out of him, whatever. So the football, dude, you get on the fight in the field, whatever. You go inside, it's over with. Who
Let
gives
it
a
go.
shit?
Yeah.
He didn't. So he follows me to my locker and is just chirping. I'm taking all my shit off. He still got his cleats and his pads and I think he even had his fucking helmet on. Like, fuck, square up, bro, square up. I was like, dude, like, listen, I'm 23. I'm an old man in this game. Like, do not fuck with me. I told him, like, I will fuck you up. Like, I just bitched you physically, and now you want to fight me, which is another physical. Like, I'll fight you with a helmet on. I don't care. So I take out my pants and literally start putting my towel on. He's like, "Oh, bro, that's just gay." Like, oh, I was like, "Dude, I'm getting in the shower. Like, leave me alone." So then I start walking to the shower, and this kid literally he gets in front of me and like puts his hands on me. I took my fucking towel off and like I was like, let's fucking go. Let's fuck. Oh, that shit's fucking gay, bro. I was like, he just left me the fuck alone after that. So, little lesson: if you get naked, they won't touch you.
And I'll add to that, if you can manage to get hard
Oh
while
yeah,
you're doing, dude, that's the trifecta.
and say, let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Then he had this wild look in his eyes.
No, I definitely had battle cock at that moment.
Oh,
I was definitely a little shriveled up. I was ready
That's
to go.
one thing that no one tells you about as a young man, you know? Like as a young man, I was very interested in like fighting, like how to be good at it. You know what I mean? Like it was a thing I wanted to learn, you know, and like to defend myself, but also to just like understand it. No one tells you that. Like I got a lot of tips and tricks and things from people and taught, and then no one tells you that your dick goes inside your body or tries its best to.
Yeah.
Like it is funny because it is kind of a natural response. Like I get it. Like, you know, gotta tighten up. We don't want shit fucking swinging around while we, you know, swinging blades at each other and shit.
That's how shit gets chopped off.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. I'm glad for it, but it's like it's so funny that
It's so
I
funny.
remember thinking that was like, whoa, that's fucking. Where did he go?
Why does my dick get really small when I
Where
fight
did
people?
my dick go? Yeah. So
Guys, am I a
funny.
woman now?
Battle cock. I love that term, battle cock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Battle cock, yeah.
Dude. If we ever break out into some kind of a civil war type situation, that is going to be my call sign.
So that
Battle cock actual.
The first time I heard that was Team Pictures, and it wasn't Team. Yeah, no, it was Team Pictures. We were just talking about because like the photographers for like college teams get like cool shots of you like at practice, at games, and all that. And dude, football pants are tight as fuck.
Oh yeah, they're gonna see that little nub.
Oh, dude, that's it.
That
Look
little
on
nub.
every guy. It doesn't matter if you're hung or not. It looks like just a little fucking head.
like a nub,
It's just
yeah.
like a little nub.
Well, because it's either actually a nub or it's like pressing it down so much that they just see like the
They got my buddy Nico so bad one time. He was like literally in the middle of a play, and the photographer got like a beautiful shot between the gap. And it's just Nico breaking down to make a tackle, but I don't know why. From the angle, you can really just see the imprint of his dick. I don't think he wore anything under his pants, dude. And it was just a head. And he was like, "Man, that fucking sucked." Yeah, he's like, "Guys, I swear it's much bigger than that."
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh,
yeah, that's one thing they don't tell you, dude.
no, should show
Wear
up on
extra
you.
fucking yeah. So, like, is that, like, a common thing? A lot of dudes don't wear jock straps or, like, the, what are they, an athletic cup, as they will?
I never wore one in football. The football...
Don't they have the one you can slide into the girdle?
Yeah, so the one for football is just a thin pad.
That you can, it's like a slot that in the pants, right?
Yeah.
You can slide in you.
So what I found out real quick, I wore them a couple times.
Definitely wear that. Oh, you chafe,
So, well, it's very uncomfortable, and if that thing gets touched at all, or if you get real low in like a 3-point stance, it is like literally pushing your balls into your gooch, and it hurts so bad. You just have an aching pain in you feel like you have a testicular tumor. It's not fun.
I mean, but I like a jock strap with the actual like hard plastic.
You
cup
can't wear
in it.
those in football.
Fuck.
No, those are great.
They're good. They're
So-
better.
Yo.
See, I've never worn one, but I can only imagine like
So when they don't feel comfortable, when they get hit, it displaces all the fucking shot to like underneath your balls and on your pelvic area. Those are fantastic. You can't wear them in football.
Why?
I don't know what. I guess it's because they're like hard. Like you can't wear them in football. Not allowed to wear hard.
That doesn't make sense.
I know you're not allowed to wear a hard cup in football,
So it has to be the pad thing that you're talking about. Yeah.
and that thing fucking
pads.
sucks.
What's up with the sissification of football, dude? Is it even still football?
You sound like such a dickhead.
I mean, let's
I want to see guys drop kicking people out there.
I just remember like the whole vibe, like was like you want to hurt that motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's
If
like
you
you
pulled
want
up,
to take him out.
like the 70s fucking ad for like the NFL, literally every play they fucking show
is illegal now.
Every single play they show.
Well, that's
is
what I
illegal.
mean. Like, what's going on? What are you guys, a bunch of sissies out there, or like, can
Well-
you break that down for me?
Listen, me personally, like honestly, I get why they do it. Like I don't think you should be mentally retarded and physically incapable of wiping your ass by the time you get done playing a career. But at the same time, you kind of sign up for it. So like, it wouldn't have changed much for me as an offensive lineman because it's still completely the same, minus people being able to tape quarters to their hand and slap my helmet. That was a thing, by the way. Deacon Jones is a badass defensive end.
Take quarters.
Tape. So he would tape his hands all the way up to his fingers like a club, and he'd put quarters on the inside of his palms. So when you slap,
Like in his glove.
no, he in the tape. So they do the first layer tape up his whole hand, then they would tape over the quarters. And when he'd slap you,
make it real
it'd be a
loud.
lot fucking harder and a lot
Yeah.
louder. It's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And
That's illegal, right?
legal as
So if
shit.
you get caught, you're getting ejected from that
Yeah,
game.
you're probably getting ejected and a couple hundred G taken out of that salary.
Whoa, what salary?
They're all. What do you mean? What salary out of your contract? You have a salary from your contract. You don't
In
get
college foosball?
that. No. I'm talking about NFL
All right.
because that's where really all this stems from. You know, there's not a whole lot of college guys speaking out against fucking concussions. It's the NFL guys, you know, and the commissioners.
Yeah, they're
and
trying to prolong their careers,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess I get that.
I do and I don't because, like I said, it's still not safe. You know, you can. Jesus Christ, the worst injuries I've seen are guys running into fucking field goal posts and being paralyzed after catching a ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that literally happened to that one kid.
There's no fixing that.
One play, dude. One play. His first play. Oh, no, I'm thinking, I'm sorry, this wasn't football. This was hockey. But, yeah, this guy came up through the minor leagues or whatever, you know, like big hockey star in high school, I guess, and, like, was really good, came up, Like everybody was really excited about it.
Oh,
You
fuck.
what
I
mean?
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
and his
Okay.
first 10 seconds on the ice, he just comes out fucking hot and tries to like check the guy with the puck.
Completely missed.
And the guy like dodged him and he went head first into the side wall and was quadriplegic for the rest of his life. I think he actually killed himself.
But, well, I don't.
Which a quadriplegic killing themselves that's like
I'm sure he had help, but I don't blame him for that. That's a terrible.
killing himself.
I would not put that on.
There are certain reasons. I mean,
Being
I feel like people are so weird.
quadriplegic is at the
a
top
pretty
of that
damn
list.
good reason. It's like, what quality of life is that? But like, I don't want to get into a whole thing about suicide, but like, I've talked to like, it seems like people are so uncomfortable with the whole topic of it. It's like
Seppuku.
seppuku. Well, that's kind of what brought it on. Was like I was watching that show on FX, the Shogun, right? And so, fantastic show, by the way. Check it out. If you don't give a fuck about Japanese culture, it's still cool. But it like just general disregard for like how like suicide was just part of life. Like it was just, I did a thing that is slightly awkward. I need to kill myself now. You know what I mean? And it was like just, I mean, people would want it. Like it was like a good thing to do.
It was honorable. It was a way to correct a wrong.
Right.
Almost.
Or just even like, I'm not super happy about how shit's going. You know what I mean? So I'll do seppuku and then I'll die. Essentially, it's like a warrior's death, if you will. You know what I mean? But like even chicks could do it. And that's crazy to me. And like a chick like could ask her husband for permission
to kill
herself, and if he gave her permission, he would second her, which means like he would stand behind her,
cut her fucking head off,
and then like after she like
put her out of her
twisted
misery.
the knife or whatever, he would.
Yeah, man,
crazy.
It was. I mean, I feel like it's
a couple hundred years ago.
It was definitely
they're still doing that.
Definitely a thing forever. I mean,
even still now, Japanese society has like a much more relaxed like view on. Well, the whole Logan Paul thing,
forest.
The suicide forest. The whole Logan Paul thing when he walked in there was like people go there to do it, and they know that they do it, and they have city workers that just go and get the bodies,
and they
it's
have like
a
signs everywhere trying to be positive reinforcement.
You don't want to do this,
guys. Please don't kill yourselves. Someone's gonna have to clean this up.
I just like people are so like always the blanket answer is there's never a reason to do.
There's definitely some exceptions.
If you're like 60, right, and you get caught in like a big embezzlement scam, and you know everything's gone, your wife's gonna leave you, your kids are gonna hate you, you're gonna be broke as a joke, and probably live the rest of your life in prison. Hey, you had a good run, you know.
Or if you have fucking stage 5 crazy whatever cancer.
Yeah, that's another one. That seems to be the most common when people have like insane, like you're gonna die and it's gonna be incredibly horrible and painful.
Pancreatic cancer.
Fuck that,
dude. You got 3 months to live.
I don't think I would have the balls to do it, but I get it. Like I'm not saying like I want to do it or like I don't see a situation.
It should be acceptable to have someone essentially do it for you if you
That's
really
what I'm saying.
to.
Yeah, these like types of services where like they have the little chambers or whatever
that's
that they can hook you up
anti-Christian
to.
of us, I guess.
Well, and that's great that you bring that up because
or anti-Catholic, I guess.
Well, I'm not Catholic.
Neither am I.
So, get bent. But Catholics are actually my mortal enemy. And that is actually that's in that show. And I was really happy to see that because you see so much of this blending of like, oh, well, Catholics and Christians are the same thing. No, we're not, and we never have been. So, they're like beefing, because the Portuguese were Catholic.
I got a personal beef with them too. They embarrassed me in front of a whole church.
Catholics did?
Yeah. I told you about that before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where they were like, dude, don't.
I went
come
up for
back
blessing. I did this. I guess it's supposed to be like the Catholic sign of like, I'm fucking Christian. I acknowledge Christ, but I'm not Catholic, so don't give me communion. And the guy literally, literally the HNIC, the fucking priest himself was like, don't come back here again. I was like,
so crazy. Which communion is
I'm going to go fucking convert to Judaism, motherfucker. Thank you.
So a real quick breakdown. Communion is the only tradition that Jesus told us directly to continue. I forget the disciple, but one of them said, okay, well, Lord, how should we remember you? Like, what should we do? Should we have like a holiday or a feast day or a fasting day? Because the Jews have like a ton of fucking different little holidays that they fast, or they have a feast, or they have like, Passover where they do the blood over the doorway. And like, they have all these different little holidays throughout history. They're like, well, should we make a holiday for you? He's like, don't do all that crazy shit. Just do this. And he's like, take the bread, and it's as you're receiving my body. Take the wine as you're receiving my blood, my sacrifice, right? And say the Lord's Prayer. That's communion. That's all it is. So, like, to deny literally anyone from communion is fucking crazy to me, first of all. Second of all, it is the most basic thing as a Christian that you could possibly do. Like, communion and saying the Lord's Prayer is like training wheels. You know what I mean?
And by the way, if you call bullshit on that, you can ask my buddy fucking James, who took me there. I have a lot of James in my life.
You really do.
But you could ask him. He was standing right fucking behind me to make sure everything was okay. And he literally even said, I'm fucking Catholic. I'm not going back there. Fuck that church. That's crazy. Like, he just said that to you. I was like, yeah.
That is wild. That guy just must have been having a bad day or something. I don't know. Maybe that's a Catholic thing. Again, I don't know that much about like necessarily the ins and outs of every single fucking Catholic church that exists, but I've done a lot of research on the whole bureaucracy, you know what I mean, like hierarchy and like history especially of the Catholic Church, and there's just not a lot of good shit going on there. I will say, and you brought this up one time, and it actually kind of made me think about things differently. At one point in time, the Catholic Church was needed.
Was necessary.
And that was the plague time, the Black Plague. And they did a lot to help kind of keep the plague from
so they could get
completely killing everybody.
So they get their tithe.
Well, they need, they're at the time, the popular thing was penance, which you'd pay to pay not only your own soul, but like your relatives
loved
and stuff out of
purgatory.
Hell.
Yeah, or hell, yeah.
Yeah, and again, purgatory, which is a weird concept. We're not gonna. We'll have a whole thing where we break a lot of that stuff down, but that's not a thing. Never was, never will be. But the suicide thing. Well, every time somebody brings that up, and they're like, "Well, as a Christian, you can't commit suicide because then you'll go straight to hell." First of all, there's nothing in the Bible that says that anywhere, like whatsoever. Same thing as the tattoo thing. When I found that out, I was like. Why did churches just make shit up? Like that shit bothers me, man.
Telephone.
Well, but why? It's right there. Go read it. Like there's always a guideline that you can go back to and say this is the word.
But you got to remember
why
this.
make shit up?
You got to
like,
remember
well,
this
here's
too.
how I think it is.
It's been translated 100 times. There has been actual they've kind of proven it. There's essentially been like almost rewrites in certain areas. I talked to my grandmother about this the other day. And
that's why you got to go King James.
I was kind of mad at her because she was giving me all this advice. She's like, when you start really reading this, you need to do your own interpretations, and you might have to do some research because your Bible is going to be different from mine. They're the same New James or whatever King James.
You can't. So I'll say this: that I did a lot of research on this as well because I wanted to understand what the difference was between the translations. Because I was like, why do we need so many different English translations? Because there's I'd say the two most popular selling Bibles are the NIV, which is the new, or the NLV, New Living Version, or new whatever. It's like the modern English.
Yeah, modern English.
And then that is taken directly from the King James, which was, medieval-ish times in England, right?
Yeah.
Which was right after Queen Mary, Bloody Mary, they called her. So that's when that took place. So the thing with the King James Bible is it's actually still one of the purest translations you can get. Because that's taken directly from the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are books, they carbon dated them 5,000 years or something like that from the Torah and the Book of Enoch and stuff. So, but that was all these so James pointed these Bible scholars to go and study all the original translations. So they took the Greek, the Latin, and the Hebrew, which were the most popular translations. Honestly, from Jesus's time.
Probably one of the best things someone has ever done in the existence of the human race.
Who, King James?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
To do all this.
And he was
crazy.
Scottish. so you know it's good.
But
But
Pollock, baby.
hey, baby. But so he did this
Pollock.
because the whole thing with Mary was
We're not
fucking
Pollocks.
crazy, dude. Like Mary was bloody Mary. Like she was insane, and she literally was like using the Catholic Church to just like call people heretics and like torture them. This was like peak.
Burn them, torture them, just
This
do
was
terrible
peak
things.
like Catholics being fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And like inbred it into the state. So like he was probably one of the first breakaway like Protestants, you know what I mean? Who was like, no, to be a Christian, you should understand and be able to access the Bible. You shouldn't just get from whatever the priests tell you. Like, that's crazy. So this was one of the first times, because there was a Bible before that only like noble people were allowed to
read.
have. Number one,
Yeah.
because they were expensive, because you had to have somebody do it for you. And a lot of now people call them family Bibles because they were fucking huge. And you'd put like pictures of back then you'd have drawings, but throughout time you'd have pictures and things of your family, and like different people would write and it'd get passed down. Geneva Bible is what it's called. That's the translation, and it's extremely close to the King James. But anyway, I'm taking a long time explaining this, but the King James is the purest English version you can get. It is taken directly from the Greek, Hebrew, and Latin, and so everything is cross-translated 3 different ways. So it's like every single thing they took. I'm not kidding. They took every single word, and they're like, this word means slightly different in Latin than it does Greek.
You know what's
and
crazy?
they gave a perfect down the middle description. It took them 7 years to do
They
this.
hand wrote all of that
Yeah. Yes.
with a feather and fucking ink.
Well, yes, but James was also part of developing printing presses.
printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of this. So this was a huge revolution.
Even back then,
Christians.
printing probably just made it more legible and easy to read on a
Yeah.
consistent basis.
So they would have like these big casts that they would
would
make
just
that would like
stamp.
imprint.
This
yeah,
guy's
like
making page
stamp
1.
pages.
This guy's making page
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
So, but that was all done directly from the King James Bible. And that actually was what started the Protestant movement throughout Europe, because now a common person was able to have a Bible big enough to carry around with them, number one.
And they could actually
Number
fucking
two,
read it.
they could read it because it was in common King's
Not
English.
fucking Latin.
Right, not Latin or Greek or Hebrew, where you had to go to school and learn how to read this
For
shit.
years. Yeah.
So this started a huge movement where people were reading the Bible and going, the Catholic Church is full of shit, that none of that is in here. Penance and purgatory.
Is that when
and
people
those-
started branching off and becoming Protestant?
Yeah,
And
that's where the Protestant movement started.
Gotcha.
And the main guy behind the Protestant movement that was like the head of it, or like the eye of it, or whatever you'd say, his name was Martin Luther. So that's how Martin Luther King Jr. got his name. It was named after Martin Luther.
That's actually what my grandmother was talking about, was Martin Luther. And
He nailed the letter on the door.
tell you
in
what,
the
he
Catholic
wasn't
Church
a
in
fan
England.
of the Talmud.
No, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
No Christian should be a fan of the Talmud.
Yeah.
It's
We kind of talked about that
when you
too.
give a depiction of Christ in boiling in his own shit and piss in hell.
Yeah.
You know,
That
it's not
whole-
great.
I went down that whole rabbit hole. That is pretty obscene. Some of those.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's why it's a secret, and we'll dig into that maybe some other time. But yeah, it's crazy.
Well, here's my thing.
you can't even go get a Talmud.
Yeah, you can't.
They've got it online
Yeah,
now.
you have
but
to look it
You can't
up.
even go get one.
No.
Like, you can't just go into a bookstore and buy it.
It's like the Jewish people
it's a big secret.
made some crazy mixtape that is just so hot you can't fucking get your hands on
shit
it.
is raw, dog. Yeah. But I said all that to say the translations are good. And again, very early on in the Bible, it's talked about multiple times. It's a lot in the Old Testament where the
Oh
prophets
God,
are
we got to circle
basically-
back to suicide too.
That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
The prophets are basically like poking at the idea of like, hey, if all these people are translating these words in these books, how can we ensure, because men are corrupt, they're gonna twist this to find a way to benefit from it.
Yep.
And it is ordained multiple times where God is, don't worry about it. I've got this one. Like, I'm not putting this in the trust of men. You guys suck. Like, I will make sure that there is always like my word.
Truth.
Again, yeah, it's like what any Christian preacher or anybody will tell you. Like the word is like it's the word of the living God. Like when he says that, like his name is the word, if that makes sense. Like it is an essence of him. That's why the Bible's so powerful, because it's like it is his actual words. It's not some dude that wrote some shit down and was like, yeah, this sounds good, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like it is through people. And again, we know that he can work through people like that. Take Mary, for instance, or Moses parting the Red Sea. You know what I mean? Like all these different things that a normal person can't do. And all that stuff is factually based too. Like even I had a hard time as a little kid with the Red Sea getting parted. That was like, all right, you know, that's like right now. Go look, National Geographic. There's wagon wheels and horse bones in the middle of the Red Sea, and they're like, well, there's maybe a ship or something, and there's in a perfect fucking line all the way from one side to the other, and there's 12 perfectly spaced boulders on about a mile, maybe half a mile wide. 12 perfectly spaced boulders with each other that line the whole thing, and then all between that is wagon wheels and chariots and old bones and people bones and horse bones, and yeah, make
I love
give it a
shit.
gay expression. Same with Noah's ship. They found that. They already know where that's at. It's an Ararat. You know what I mean? It's up in like near the Caucasus
They
Mountains.
found in the mountains, right? Yeah.
Near the Caucasus Mountains, near Russia, which is weird.
I love that. I love when they can link stuff. It's just
And all the
it's just so it makes you feel good inside. It's just like
it's
fucking idiots,
vindication,
man.
because it's like, well, sometimes that's what it takes. Like these people are like, well, there's no physical proof. There is. You just ignore it.
There's
giant bones. There's literally giant bones in the Smithsonian. You can go to Washington D.C. and see them. Why are we still having this argument that there weren't giants?
To
there were
documentaries and interviews where there's like literally been atheists who've gone out of their way to disprove this stuff,
and they end up becoming
finding fucking religion.
Yeah, they
of
fuck
it.
around and find out.
They're like, no, there's enough proof for this to actually make sense, and it's probably way more likely that this happened than the Big Bang Theory. It's like,
which is a theory of nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to nothing.
But carbon dating.
Then there was everything.
But carbon dating.
Yeah.
But carbon dating.
And again, carbon dating, bullshit.
Wildly inaccurate.
Bullshit.
Wildly inaccurate.
You don't fucking know.
Well,
I love the pretentious assholes that are like, oh well, the data.
No, dude.
You don't fucking know.
I've seen people.
You're taking just as much as a leap of faith as I am.
There's people who like find like petrified wood or create petrified wood or petrified anything, and they literally send it in to have it carbon dated.
Yeah,
and
they'll
it could be
date
something
it
that's
thousands
like,
and thousands. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, this is
I made this yesterday.
Yeah, I did this yesterday. It's been soaking in a tub of shit for the last 24 hours.
I believe truly with their modern technology, we can get close, and we take context clues, right? Like we have so much information now that we take a good educated guess, but you don't fucking know. You know what I mean? And again, that's why history is so important, is because people throughout time have recorded things, right? And that's how we know, based on, well, the Sumerians wrote and had this particular hand style and this particular style of tool and pottery, and that's how we know it's roughly from this era, because it's the same style and way that they recorded that they made it.
Not because they look at the fucking chemical breakdown of something and say, well, this carbon matches the same carbon on this Earth from 25 million.
Is that so? Yeah, because the same carbon from 25 million years ago is the same carbon as made at this table right now. It all recycles back into each other.
Honestly, man, it never made sense to me. And learning about dinosaurs, even in elementary school, is like, how do we know that? Like, if we
find the
weren't
bones,
around,
but like I remember you talking about that too. Is
the
like
Jurassic period was
apparently almost none of them are actually like
they're
full
covered in
sets.
They're covered in feathers too. Supposedly now
Yeah,
they're saying a very large amount of them are not just velociraptors.
Yeah, they say they were more like chickens.
Yeah.
Like they were
leathery skin.
Yeah, they were more like
less scales,
less like lizards, more like birds.
Yeah,
isn't that wild? I don't know.
But how do they come up with that? Are they finding fucking preserved? Like there's so many. Like we said,
they're just going off bone structure,
and that's why like
guessing.
I actually love like if we ever did get to the point where like we do merch, I would love to do just Space's cap because. And, like, I kind of argued with you on that, but, like, now I'm starting to get to the point where, like, I just don't just don't believe anything.
Exactly. Space is capped
Other
is
than
not a
religion.
fact. Space is capped
Christianity
is like
specifically.
it's a mindset, dude. You know,
Yeah.
it's a mindset of like I don't trust shit because you guys lie about
Dude,
everything.
Well, 90%
Everything.
90% of science is theory.
Yes, 100. Yeah,
90% of it's
Yeah.
theory.
yep. It's theory. It's a good guess,
And
and
those-
that's we can respect that. But don't you fucking dare
Well,
come over here and tell me I'm wrong, and you know for sure I'm wrong because
Dude,
you fucking don't.
Every day though, there's new theories that output old theories, and then
Yeah.
those theories
yeah, we're
get replaced
constantly-
a year later.
It's like Max said on fucking Always Sunny. Those stupid science bitches
Yeah.
turned out to be wrong. You know what I mean? And now we're coming back around because one of the examples was, well, the Earth might be flat, and then they were like, well, we found out that they're wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have
trust them-
faith.
I don't trust them anymore.
I don't have faith in any of those motherfuckers,
Well,
dude.
You know what really I think there's a lot more people out there that are starting to get on board in this, and I really believe, and I don't think they meant to do this. COVID was a test.
I believe so.
COVID was a test. And-
It divided the sheep from the people
yes.
who can like have an independent
Just
train
gonna
of thought.
throw that out there right now. The Wuhan lab was real. They lied about everything. I no longer
That's
trust.
common.
I no longer trust anyone.
Yeah, they came out and told everybody.
Fauci is an evil man. He's an evil man. He caused people to die alone during COVID that did not have COVID but showed COVID-like symptoms. Old people who went to fucking hospitals that were separated from their families. He killed thousands of people during the AIDS crisis with the medication that they were using. It was literally
That's right. That
it
was him.
literally so powerful. The medication they were giving people.
That was what
they
was
were
killing
they were
them.
dying from the medication.
Yeah, I
instead of
remember
AIDS.
that. Yeah.
And it was the same thing with cancer, and they knew that medication was doing the same thing. Hey, this is killing these cancer patients before they even die from the fucking cancer.
Yeah.
We got to stop using this shit. This is the
Makes
guy
too much money though.
that they chose to use as a fucking figurehead for the entire COVID ordeal.
I mean, I guess it made sense at the time because they're just like, well, this guy's been around a long time, you know, and he obviously knows what he's talking about. And then everybody started digging into this guy's past, and they're like, oh, this guy sucks.
Liberals,
like this guy's actually an asshole.
Liberals died on that hill, and now they act like it doesn't even exist.
Oh yeah, they won't acknowledge it. Yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. It's no man. I don't know. I am gonna just half circle back real quick.
Sorry, I kind of went
That's
off
okay.
track.
This is what we do. The suicide thing.
Yes.
So I said all.
Jesus
of that.
Christ! I'm sorry, I interrupted.
It's okay. I said all of that. I do it. I go off in these fucking crazy branches.
Going back to suicide.
Basically, what I'm saying is that yes, there are versions of the Bible that are available to us that are very, very good. They're very close. They're not maybe perfect, but they're very good. They're very close. A lot of people put a lot of time into them. That being said, the whole Jonah thing, right? You learn the story in Sunday school about the guy getting gobbled up by the big fish or the whale, right? And then it spits him out, and he's got to go to the city where all the people hate, you know, Jews or whatever, and they want to kill him because he's Jewish or he believes in God or whatever his deal was, right? If you go back and read that story as an adult, Jonah wanted to kill himself. Jonah was depressed and was just done and wanted to die. So God was like, nah, you got to do this thing for me before you die, basically. And he was like, nah, I'm just going to go die. And that's why he went and got on the ship, and he was going to go somewhere nice and just, I guess, hang himself. And then the storm happened. He got gobbled up by the thing, and then it spit out on the shores of Nineveh. And he's like, all right, fine. I want to die anyway, so I'll go in there, and they'll just kill me. And they didn't kill him, and he was, like, sad about it because he, like, wanted to die. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I got to fucking pee again. That fucking...
Heine.
Dude, the Heine. I had a Heine, and it fucking... The monster just really
Doubled up
kickstarted that bladder. But anyway, and... So he goes in, whatever. They don't kill him. He was pissed about it. Goes and sits under the tree and is like having a conversation with God and essentially is like, can I be released now? Like, can I come home? And that's kind of how it ends. But like, it is implied that he killed himself. And I don't think Jonah went straight to hell for killing himself. I'm not making a case for it because I don't know for sure. But that is one part that I've always questioned, and nobody can give me a solid answer on that. Nobody can actually tell me, like, oh, no, Johnny didn't kill himself. He just, like, well, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. I mean, it kind of alludes to it at the end of the story, right? You know what I mean? So I don't think killing yourself is a good thing. And then suicide's a very dark topic because, like, there's certain cases where it's really fucking sad. Like,
I would always
somebody's just, like, depressed, and they've got so much life ahead of them, or, like, especially the saddest
Well,
cases are like veterans that have like PTSD
Yes.
or like kids in high school that are getting bullied really bad, where it's like you're so close to where life is going to
get better
and get better for you.
And in those
like,
cases,
that sucks.
I say do not.
Don't.
Man. If
you got so much left.
If your life isn't coming to a complete end, and that could be prison, that could be death, you know, don't fucking do it. Why would you?
Yeah, for
sure. You could literally, and there has been weirder things on this planet than people just winning the fucking lottery. You know, like, and that could be in many forms. I don't mean just the actual lottery. Like, you could just strike gold the fucking next day.
Yeah.
You know?
You never know.
Don't do it.
It's like, I'll tell you, like Tyrion Lannister said, you know, death is final, whereas life is full of possibilities.
Yeah.
You know? But I know. I love how I'm like take a pro-suicide stance and then end that with like an anti-suicide stance.
Well,
but that's just
like-
me, brother.
like
I'm
I
all
said-
over the place.
like I said-
Wild card, baby.
There's a time and the place where I could see it not being necessary, but where I could see it being like, I get it.
I get exactly. That was my point exactly. Is like there are certain situations that guys will find themselves in that I'm like, I get it. You know what I mean?
God, it was terrible. There were several contractors like in the area during the 2008. And they killed themselves.
Lost everything.
Yeah.
Yep, and they were older. I mean, they were at the point where they
I
were
would say to that
getting
wasn't-
ready to retire.
Yeah,
and
but even then, if they waited out another 2 or 3 years, they would have been right
they
back.
may have gotten
to,
better.
Yeah.
But I get it. That's what I'm saying is like I get it. I get
You
to
can
where
wrap
a
your head
person-
around
I
that.
can wrap my head around it. I can get it, and I also don't like the cliche Christian argument of, well, if you kill yourself, it's you go instantly to hell. I don't think that there's anything that a saved person can do to send themselves to hell.
I also think
I'll-
God kind of understands to some people's logic. Like this is, you know, there's a point
If
where it's
someone's
like,
hurting to that point that's their only option.
yeah,
I don't see you getting punished for that. And again, this is coming from the same people that say every baby that dies goes straight to hell. Imagine that.
Yeah, if they're
imagine
not.
hell full of screaming, crying babies.
Well, that's my thing. Is like, if that's the case, why wouldn't you do a tank,
Catholics are weird.
a tank, water tank birth, and just bless the water and just do it right there the second
Well,
he's
I mean,
out
but
of
that's
that
what
womb.
Catholics do. They do the christening.
Yeah, but it's
they
always
baptize
it's always like a
babies.
couple months. Don't play that shit, man.
I know, but I'm saying it. What's the fucking difference? The baby didn't make the choice to get baptized at all. Like I don't think that being baptized, you know, not I won't say like against your will, but like I don't think being baptized and you not making that decision does anything. It's not real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Christ was pretty specific that there's a whole thing that being born again doesn't even require any water. Like it's the traditional way to do it. It's how Christ was baptized, so we all mimic that. But the steps before that are the important part, right? You know, where he breaks it down, like confess with your mouth that you're a sinner, confess that you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and that is God incarnate, and that he died for your sins, and then you do the act of being baptized more or less, probably as like a witness to other people, more so than even for yourself. But that's the whole shakedown. So like when you baptize a baby by sprinkling water on its head, I don't think babies go to hell. So I'm just saying, like, there's multiple descriptions in the New Testament that all the children that die stay children for whatever reason, and they all are like they follow
like
Jesus
roam the
around
world or whatever.
No, they
Yeah,
follow him
Jesus,
around.
yeah.
That he's like always that like he's seen in descriptions of people that have had visions and descriptions
With babies around him.
all like just little kids all around him all the time. So I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff in there, dude, about the
Bless Jesus, dude.
new
That'd
body.
be annoying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to be annoying, right? Because they're not, you know. I mean, that's the idea.
Kids are annoying, dude.
Yeah, that's
Dead
the
or
idea.
alive.
Well, and
They're annoying.
Again, I mean, think about the iron will and patience for him to have a vision of every piece of shit in the world and still be like, I'm fine with this. I'm all right. I'll get tortured and die horribly for you, even though I see you, piece of shit. You know what
shoved what up your
Yeah.
ass?
Exactly. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Don't do that. Can you imagine? Like, I know God knew everything from beginning to end, but just like, it is a funny picture to think of, like, him just looking down on Earth and just seeing the first two gay guys. Be like, whoa, what?
Don't do that.
What are you
Stop.
doing? What are you doing?
No.
No, don't put that there. That's not what that's for. You
Poop
know?
comes out of there. God.
Oh,
me, damn it.
yeah.
Ah.
Me, damn it. Yeah.
How are we looking
yeah.
on time?
I think we're at like almost 2 hours.
Oh, we can go over that. Oh, fuck. We're almost 3, buddy. We can do
9:30,
whatever. We're
10:30.
we're long.
No, we're at 2 hours.
We're long-winded.
We're over 2 hours.
Yeah.
But
Dude.
yeah, I mean, we'll wrap it up here in the next 15.
I got one more great story. So, a friend of mine is in medical school. He's doing rounds at, I believe, an emergency room. And guy comes in there and he's like, man, I got to quit messing around with these chicks. They're fucking crazy. You know, so my buddy, Colt, you know, he's like, oh, you know, like, you know, what's going on? Like, what happened? Man, this chick, man, she shoved the straw up my dick. He's like, okay, like,
yo, bro.
like drop the drawers. Let's see what we're working with. It was a metal straw, which this guy was hung like a horse, supposedly.
God damn, that like makes me shudder.
It was shoved
Not the pee hole, dude. Anything but the pee hole.
God damn, I probably shouldn't even be talking about this because
Why?
doctor-patient privilege.
Oh, you haven't said any names. Oh, you did kind of
I
say
use
one.
I use a code name, Colt.
Is that not really his name?
No,
Oh, then you're fine. Is his real name Horse?
Maybe.
Something to do with a horse?
maybe he's hung like a horse.
Your buddy? The doctor or the patient? Were
Well, both.
were these
I
two
guess.
well-hung men? Just-
Anyways, so fucking
What do I feel like this is a start to a porno?
dude, this guy shoved a metal straw up his dick so far.
Every time you say that,
tense up
Bro,
a little
like-
bit, right? He shoved it so far up his dick hole, it was touching his prostate.
Jesus.
They had to cut the guy's dick open and pull it out. Mind you, this guy worked a full shift at his job with this,
it in there?
with this going on.
Now that's dedication.
That guy should get a promotion.
Where is that guy? He needs to be the fucking CEO of somewhere to show up to work like that. Like,
metal straw in my
shit. I gotta
Did a
go to
whole
work.
8 hours.
I go to the hospital after.
These freak bitches are killing me. That guy shoved that up there by himself. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
To open up with
These
that.
girls.
These girls are real weird,
dude.
man.
I just can't even imagine. I remember there was a video, like, you remember the whole,
God.
like, 2 girls, 1 cup?
And like the BME Pain Olympics and shit.
I don't remember what the hell the video was called, but it was like a chick taking her pinky finger and like
Dude,
like fingering this
I've
dude's
been-
piss hole.
I've-
It didn't even like look real because it was like so open. I
Buddy,
was like, what?
I've seen
I was
I've
like,
seen
maybe
videos.
16, 15, 16.
I've had
I'm like,
videos
"Ugh."
sent to me of guys having dildos shoved up their dick.
Ow. I feel like at one point you like rub it against like the inside of your pants, or it catches, like, go to take it out and you're in a hurry and like your actual like edge of your piss hole like catches your zipper.
Have you ever gotten
and
like,
it's like
sand
fuck?
or you ever gotten like sand or dirt in there?
Soap. Soap's the worst thing I've ever gotten in it.
burns
Oh
so
yeah, real bad. That's what I'm
bad.
saying. Like, it's so incredibly.
There's no way a foreign object going up there would give you some sensation.
I think like the worst I've ever heard it was like me and this chick were fucking going at it, and I shouldn't say chick, it was my wife, but anyway, I popped out. We were on the floor for whatever reason. I don't remember what we were doing, but we were on the floor. It popped out and like kind of like nose dived like into the carpet. Do you know what I mean? And that it just dragged. That fucking hurt. That was probably the worst pain I've ever felt.
Rug burn.
It's like a piss hole. Like, it's so funny that we're talking about this, but yeah, no. Can't imagine. Oh my God, what if you're out there doing that? You're a fucking psycho. You're gonna kill people eventually. You are.
That's the next
you're
step.
Gonna, yeah, that's
First
the next step.
shoving shit
I
up your
mean,
piss hole.
yeah.
Second step,
If you're
shoving
there
a
already,
fucking,
like if you're there in
a
life, to
hammer
where
through somebody's head.
just conventional pleasures don't do it for you.
How do you get to that point?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Or like the thing where people choke themselves. It's an alarming amount of It's alarming how many people die from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation, yeah.
And that's just choking yourself while you're jerking off or having sex. Or
Dude,
whatever.
I have paramedic friends that tell me terrible stories,
About
terrible
people choking
stories.
themselves?
People going into cardiac arrest, doing crazy things with sex. People.
Cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Having a heart attack.
Yep. Well,
Sorry, I'm bouncing. I
having
just have to go, but let's just ride it out.
having a giant dildo shoved up your ass while you're fucking your wife will definitely give you a heart attack.
Yeah. Like unknowingly? Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. I've had a finger start to make its way in there before, and it was
Swatted away real quick.
clenched up. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Don't
Stop.
I don't know. It's like it's funny because it's like it's not even like a mindset thing. It's like I don't like it. I don't
immediate fight or flight.
I'm sure you've showered with your old lady, and
Jesus
they do
Christ.
the go to pick something up, and hey, look at
She doesn't do that.
No,
No.
not anymore. Probably, yeah. It's like they all try it at some
told
point.
her twice.
Like a joking thing,
with some
but
black eyes. No, fucking. But like that's like literally my reaction is whenever someone fucks with me like that, I immediately I'm throwing a bow as hard as I can back
gotta
out.
defend that. You got to defend that precious
Oh,
virgin
absolutely.
hole.
I'm not paying that troll toll.
Dude, I was just about to say that, dude. You got to pay the troll's toll to get in this boy's hole.
No toll is being taken.
Frank
for
hasn't
my
paid
boy's
the
hole.
toll, huh?
Dude. Let me tell you what, that'd be a sure way of getting your ass beat by accident.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, no,
That'll-
I'm same way. I clench up real quick. I'm like, again. I'm sorry if you're a dude out there who thinks you're straight and you like stuff up your butt. I got bad news for you, bro.
You're not straight.
You're not that straight. You're not that straight. I'm sorry, you're just not, bro. You're just not. I mean, it's a funny joke, right? To like, oh yeah, get something shoved up your ass. You're not shoving anything up my ass. It's not happening. I'm not gonna do it. And I'll tell you what, I have to pee so bad, I might have to have you shove a metal straw in my fucking piss hole.
Just go pee.
All right, so I had to pee so bad, right? That I was like hopping around, and we have this like thing that like those like organizers that like sit above the toilet, but the toilet seat, like when you put it up, I have to hold it, or else it just falls right back down because it won't go back enough to like stay up. So I made a quick decision, and I said to myself, "No, dude, what am I, gay?"
I'll tell you this right now. I'm about to start doing this. I'm tired of cleaning the fucking toilets.
No, but I made a quick decision. It's actually weirder than sitting down. Made a quick decision. I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to hold this piss in while I'm trying to, like, take my dick out and hold the seat up at the same time and, like, aim. I just pissed in the shower. Turned the water on.
Smart man.
Yeah. So then my wife made fun of me, and she's like, did you just pee in the shower? And I was like, yes, I did. So you heard it here, folks.
Well, as long as it was hydrated piss, you're not going to stain the grout,
I had the water on. I mean, it's the same difference, Do
I
you pee in the shower while you're taking a shower?
have to aim for the drain.
You have to? I mean, I suppose I do, like, instinctually, but...
Some days I camel, dude, and I just don't drink any fucking water. And, dude, if you are rocking brown piss in the shower, you will stain your fucking grout.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I've been called out on it a few times.
I can't remember the last time I was that dehydrated.
That's good.
I don't work
means you're being
outside
responsible.
like that anymore,
Yeah, man, neither do I. But fuck, if we walk around on job sites all day and you just don't ever drink because our company doesn't provide us with fucking water anymore.
What the fuck, dude? Don't say the name, though.
Multi-billion-dollar fucking company.
Do not
God
say the
forbid you give
name.
me fucking water.
Don't say the name.
I'll
of the
never
company
will.
we
I don't
work
want to
for.
get fired, but whatever.
I don't think that would matter.
What do you mean?
I think you're right. Like, some of the controversial shit that we say, like...
There's way more on grounds of firing than... Yeah.
But see, like, what's weird is that they can do that, right? They can just fire you for shit that you say when, like, you're not at work or, like...
I feel like if no one else knows about it, they'll probably tell you to take it down. But, like, if it came out like a news thing, they'd be like, yeah, we got to fire you. Because this looks really bad on us. But also, does anyone...
Like a news thing? What do you mean?
Like if
we went viral for it?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Well, at that point, I quit. We're
then
doing well now.
Then you found out you're the fucking Haktua girl. You're a one-hit wonder, and all the money's gone after a month, and you're like, oh fuck.
Fuck it, dude. We'd come out with a coin.
Brackish Bandit coin, please. BBC, please buy it, please.
Pumping up scheme.
We really could do a BBC coin.
Big black cock.
Yeah. Well, no, Brackish Bandits coin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe I didn't think of that. My bad, dog. BBC, huh?
Well, that was one thing that one of our viewers pointed out was BBP.
Big black penis.
I was like, yeah, thanks. I didn't even think about that. That's pretty cool.
Either. Hilarious. I love it. I actually love that. I love that we're associated
What
with
was
that.
I talking about while you were gone? Oh, yeah. Pissing in using other people's bathrooms is weird because there's a lot of times, it's not too bad right now. I definitely could pee, but like, I don't like peeing in other people's houses. And 9 times out of 10,
Why?
because they always have weird locks. Some people have the push buttons. Some people have the levers, but the levers are reversed where, I always keep, this is so stupid. If it turns up and it locks, up, you're up, bro. You're up. You don't have to worry about people walking in on you taking a shit or a piss. But if it's sideways, it like freaks me out. I've been in plenty of houses where if it's sideways is locked, upwards is fucking unlocked.
Are you sure you're not autistic?
No, I'm not sure at all.
Better watch out,
But
dude. You're getting close.
I don't like peeing in other. I don't like using other people's bathrooms.
That's
There's
hilarious.
nothing.
I just don't lock the door.
There is nothing more embarrassing than someone walking in on you using the bathroom. I'd rather almost get caught by freaking Chris Hansen on Dateline.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that, man? Yo, you know what's actually funny is now it's taken a weird turn with that, bro. Like they're still out there, those pedophile hunters. They're on YouTube and like social media.
They like beat those guys
yeah,
up.
they like smack them.
I like
and,
it.
I don't know.
I like it.
I don't love it.
It's douchey, but I think it's funny.
Yeah, some of them are funny, but some are like you just feel bad because it's like it's obviously an autistic 35-year-old dude
Yeah.
who lives at home. It's like not the same. Like again, what he's doing
Dude.
is bad, but I don't think he fully.
I saw one where the guy
like,
tries to run, and there was another guy waiting with like a full shopping cart, and he just ran into him.
I did see
It
that
just
one.
fucking leveled him.
Yeah,
I was like,
he
dude,
fucked that guy up. That hurt. You know that fucking hurt, dude.
shopping carts do not feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. I don't know. I just like a lot of it. I just miss the old like Chris Hansen was so classy about it, you know? And those guys are getting arrested. They're going to jail that day. And they're on TV. So it's like
There's
you know
police
what I mean?
officers all around this house. Don't do anything stupid.
Don't even
just
fucking
explain
try.
to us what's going through your mind right now.
Yeah. What were you thinking when you said I'm going to take my throbbing cock and shove it in your 15-year-old ass? What did you mean by that, you know?
I love how he always like throws out the sex. It's like not even that they're a kid, but he's also like 15-year-ld boy. Like
Yeah.
really emphasizes
Yeah.
like not only
Well,
are you a
'cause, I
pedo,
mean,
you're a fag.
You're a fucking queer. Yeah.
and now your wife knows, and you're 7
yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of most of those guys are like married
Please,
dudes
man,
with kids.
I got a wife and kids. It's like,
Yuck.
dude. Ooh.
Yeah. Rough. But see, that's what I mean, though, is like the type of outed that they were getting was in a way better because they were getting arrested and
National
booked.
TV. That's yikers.
If you're the guy, right, that's on the other end, that sucks for
Yeah.
you. But I'm saying, like, from the justice standpoint, that's like, I think that's because now everybody was watching that show, bro.
Dude,
like that show was so popular.
What's crazy?
You fucking try to go to work,
You'd
on
be
Monday,
fucked.
you're
Everybody
fucked.
knew.
You are
Hey,
getting
Jim,
fucking fired.
When's the trial, buddy?
Yeah, you're
Stay
getting
away from my
fucking
kids,
shit
Jim.
canned,
I'll
dude.
fucking kill you.
And you're on TV and you're getting arrested. Those guys on YouTube, those guys don't even get arrested. They just smack them
Well,
around.
here's the thing: some of those guys report and send the evidence to the police department. They just don't make an arrest.
Yeah, they don't.
which is fucking
wild.
crazy.
It's wild. They don't care. Like, it's weird.
It's getting real weird, and that's why I kind of think this. I keep saying. I think I've probably mentioned it in damn near every episode. The whole LGBTQ thing of them now starting to acquire what do they call it? Age. You know the name. I can't remember it. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't remember either. A PAT or Pad.
I don't know. It's something about identifying with age or sexual age. Something I don't know, but it's
Map.
It's pedophilia.
Minor
Attracted person. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a death sentence in my book. But
yeah, it's rough.
It's
There's no way to fix that.
It's becoming a thing in Europe.
There's no way to fix it.
Yeah, there is. CPQ. That's another exception.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say,
Just kill yourself.
or castration. But even at that, it's like, I don't know. And what is that about dudes, bro? Like, you don't. I'm sure it's much less.
There's women too.
It's much less talked about because it's like not. It's like kind of a taboo type.
Well, that's
thing.
because you go, dude. Okay,
Like
if
15-year-old dudes kind of want to bang.
If a younger girl
like an
goes to her
older
friends
chick.
and goes, "Oh yeah, I just got railed out by like a 6-year-old man," they go, "Ew, go call the police."
Yeah.
If a fucking kid does or boy does that,
It's like,
they're like,
dude,
"Dude,
what?
fuck yeah, dude.
You
She's-
bang so-and-so's mom, dude?
She's got giant tits, dude. Hell yeah." Like we're just
It
retarded.
is funny, yeah. It's like it's more,
I don't know how,
but it's also more culturally accepted.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how mad I'd be if like my 16-year-old son, like unless she was like brainwashing him, then like yeah, I'd freak the fuck out. But like if he just like banged some older woman and like lied about his age, I'd be like,
You're idiot.
I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot, dude.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's pretty hot.
She had big titties, dude.
she was in my class. Oh my god.
That is funny, man. It's
It's-
funny that you're gonna have a kid that like reaches an age where that's like an acceptable conversation, you know.
What?
Oh, you railed that chick out, and not bad, son. Not bad. You know? I mean, you could be classy dad about it, you know, but like, you know,
Yeah.
it's funny. Obviously not while he's in high school.
Yeah. No.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Can't be having fucking kids before
College?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, what do you think, Grant?
I mean, unless you can spark something, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, it's a solid 2.5. Little over, I think. 240.
God, I hope
Seems to be our
Now
average
you got
marker.
me really worried about my job. I hope we don't get fired. Fuck, that would suck.
Why the fuck would we get fired?
Just like
Other
you know,
than laid off because they're crazy or
Jesus
whatever.
Christ. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that.
I know.
But fucking holy shit.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though, like this getting out and be like, oh, we don't really like your political stance. Some asshole's gonna like figure out who we are after talking about this. Be like, I'm gonna find where they fucking work.
I wish we had that many motivated viewers.
No, we don't. But
we're up to 15
isn't
subscribers.
it crazy? Like we're like
And we're gonna start cranking out the shorts.
we need to. And it's my fault. I need to
Reaching.
be doing them because
Both of us.
oh,
Hey,
you're
what
carrying.
Did
you're
you
carrying
make? No,
this.
I'm not. You've made way more shorts than I've only made.
Yeah, I did
4.
5 on our one
There
episode.
you go. You've got me.
Still, I gotta start hammering them out.
What trying to think. What is that other thing you said you were gonna start putting stuff on?
Oh,
The
Rumble. I made our account.
Rumble.
I need to upload all our videos. Yeah, Rumble is a cool. I wish it would gain more traction because it's a really cool platform and it offers everything. And they really do not care what you do. It's like Kick minus them pushing gambling down your fucking throat.
Yeah, what happened with that? That Kick
What do you
wasn't always that way, was
No,
it?
they got bought out by Stake. Stake owns it.
The sports betting shit stake.
I think
that
they
what they
do.
come
I think they do sports betting too, but no, they're the online casinos that took off during COVID. They're like a multi-billion-dollar company now. They're huge.
It's
Dude,
interesting.
you know
right?
what? You just sparked another conversation. Isn't it really fucking weird how much gambling is being promoted nowadays?
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Like when people are like almost the most desperate they've been in a
I
very
know.
long time.
Yeah, well, that's the hook, right? Get rich quick.
Gonna throw this out there. There is no such thing as responsible gambling. Gambling is fucking stupid, and you shouldn't do it. And this is coming from a guy who buys lottery tickets probably at least 3 times a week.
And coming from a guy who used to frequent casinos when I lived in a place that had a lot of different casinos, the way I always told myself in my head was, I'm allotting this amount of money. I'm going to spend that much drinking anyway. So if I'm gambling, I drink for free. You know,
If you win,
not for free. Well, yeah, you just keep it, try to stretch it out and keep it going.
don't be the asshole who loses it all in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He goes, come on,
Yeah.
guys, let's leave.
I literally, real quick story.
Come on, guys.
When I was living in Mississippi, I would do that a lot. I'd go. I mean, there was nights that I made $20 like stretch all night. Not every time, but I would always allocate at least $200. Like if I was going out, we're going out. We're going like hopping to like different casinos and bars and stuff. It's like we're out on the town tonight. $200. I was gonna probably spend that anyway.
Yeah.
I would stretch that shit on the roulette table because that's just,
50-50.
That's 50-50.
Well,
I mean, if you're
like
betting on
48-52.
red and black, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, this kid came. He was trying to get hired on at the shipyard, and it didn't work out, which is hilarious. Why it didn't work out? Because he couldn't get the security clearance. Because one time when he was like, I guess 18 or 19, he got pulled over for drunk driving. And while he was like being interrogated by the cop, I guess he like passed out
and headbutted him.
Headbutted the cop, so he got DUI and assault on a Leo.
They're such assholes, dude.
And it was the assault on a Leo that like they wouldn't give him the clearance. It's just so funny.
I mean, if that was the real story, that's bullshit.
I mean, that's what he said, and honestly, I believed it, bro. Like this kid, because I met him in Jacksonville when we were in welding school.
Didn't seem like the headbutting cop.
Bro,
type.
no, he would like black out. Like he's like the sweetest, nicest, most easygoing dude, totally. And like the other guys that we all would like hang out with and go drinking with, they started calling him, I don't know why, but they started calling him Dolph Lightning. Like when he would get real fucked up, they'd be like, "Oh god damn it, Dolph is out." He would black out, and he would just be like, he would do the craziest shit. Like one night we were leaving, he was fine too. Like we were leaving Miller's Ale House. It was just me, him, and one other dude.
You guys
chill
were getting
night.
drunk at Miller's Ale?
Dude, we were getting fucked up at Miller's, bro. It was fucking tight. And that Miller's was sick though, because it was right in downtown Jacksonville, right on the St. Johns River, and it was like a part of this.
So it was
like,
a hot spot.
It was a hot spot, yeah. And so we again, when I say we were getting fucked up, not that we weren't like going that hard, right? But he was like, drinking a lot of beer or whatever. We get into his truck. He's driving for some reason. I don't know why. We get into like his neighborhood where he lives, and he just goes right past his house because we're all just going to crash at his apartment. Goes right past his house, his apartment complex, starts going through the streets. And me and the other guy are like, "What are you doing, man?" And he's like not answering us. He's just driving. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck,"
He's a man on a mission.
I look at the other kid. His name was Taylor. And I was like, "Is this Dolph right now? What's going on?" He stopped at this house. It had like a box truck, and it had like a bread advertisement on the side. We're just like, "What are you doing, man?" He gets out, he opens up the thing, and he just starts running back and forth to the back of his truck with fucking handfuls of bread. We're like, "What are you doing?" Bro, it was so funny. And so
you've been struck by.
Bro, he put, probably 50, 60 loaves of bread. And like, I'm not kidding. Just left the back of the truck open in the back of his truck. And then he's like laughing, and like he takes off, peels out. He's like, we're like, "Dude, what are you doing right now?"
That's the most like innocent theft I've
I know.
ever heard
And we're
of.
like, "Bro, what are you doing?" Like, we're just laughing because it's so silly. Like, how did you know this truck was here? It's like he drove straight to it. Like, he saw it in his sober mind, like, "I should take that bread." And his drunk mind was like, "I'm taking that fucking bread." And we get back to his house, and he's like, we're all carrying it up, and we're just laughing the whole time. And he's like totally serious.
Guys, we gotta get this in here.
Like,
don't
"Hell
tell
yeah,
anyone
man!
about
I'm gonna have bread for like 3-4 months at least on all
He's
this
such
bread."
an idiot,
yeah,
dude.
and we're
It's not
like,
gonna
"Dude, what are you
stay
talking
good."
about?" And so it's the funniest part though is like we put it all on his kitchen counter, right? So it's just totally full of bread, and we all pass out, go to sleep. He
God.
wakes up in the morning.
What the fuck?
Guys, what the fuck, man? What do you got all this bread? And I'm like nervously laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, right." And he's like, "No, seriously, what are you guys doing? Like, where did you get all this bread from?" And we're like, "Yo, you did that." And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He legit, like, I could tell he wasn't joking. Like,
Dude.
"So what are you talking about? Like, you stole all this bread, dude." He's like, "What, from the store?" We're like, "No, from a fucking bread truck." He's like, "Where the hell would I find a bread truck?"
You fucking
What
know.
a good fucking question, dude. It was
You know,
so funny.
motherfucker.
It was so funny, man. We're like, "Dude, what?" He was like, at first he was like mad and like concerned, and then just was dying laughing. He was
Dude,
like, "Oh my!"
I've met I've met and dealt with so many fuckers. Like I call them Jekyll and Hydes because
they're like a totally different person when they drink.
People.
Yeah.
I've never been. I am a pretty nice person. I feel like, and I just get nicer the more I drink. I've had to fight a couple times.
I have my nights. You've seen me.
Yeah. Well,
I have my nights where I get a little rowdy, a little out of hand,
but
for absolutely no reason.
Even then, I feel like that's kind of like the inner you. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's some people where like they don't have a mean stroke about them. Like, let's not kid ourselves. You can get angry pretty quick. I can too.
I get heated. I get fired up.
When people fuck with me, especially when I'm drunk, I will fight them. But like, dude, they're just like the most innocent people, and they get a couple drinks, and like they're just doing the most outrageous,
crazy
shit.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've never. I don't know. I mean, I've had situations like that where I woke up the next morning and people were telling me the crazy shit I did the night before, but drugs were always involved. Drinking and drugs were mixed.
The only
and
ones,
that's a blackout.
The only ones I've ever had was like I'd wake up and I had no idea how I got home. Be like, oh fuck, I drove.
Dude.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I go
I've
outside.
had a few of those.
My car's parked perfectly between the fucking lines and no damage. And I'm like, all right, well,
just a broken headlight, a little bit of blood on the front bumper, no big deal.
I'm gonna spray that with some bleach real quick.
Probably a raccoon or something. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty long hair. Oh fuck.
Oh shit. Just see like fingerprint blood streaks down the side. Oh fuck.
Hit a deer. That was a deer. That was definitely a deer.
Oh my god, it's funny. Yeah, those Jekyll and Hyde motherfuckers. I mean, they're fun, but it's like that wild card shit is like, am I gonna fucking this guy going to jail tonight? Like, I literally had a situation like that. One of my best friends, like, known this guy forever. And he was another one. It's funny how they always end up with nicknames, too. I don't know why, but, like, I didn't come up with the Dolph Lightning thing. But
they do have nicknames.
They have nicknames, yeah, because it's their alternate personality. And this guy had definitely an alternate drinking personality. And we were really young, like high school, you know, being silly, kind of like getting drunk and just being dumb. And this guy one night was like, totally chill. Everything's fine. We're all amongst friends. It was a party, but it was like a get together. Like everybody there knew each other. You know what I mean? Except maybe like one or two randoms, but not like a random house party. You know what I mean? So we're all very comfortable with each other. And he's wearing a. Are you familiar with the legend of Billy Goat with the Cubs?
No.
Okay, so long story short, Cubs have this thing where like a guy cursed their team, and that's why they couldn't win a World Series. And it's called the guy would come with like a billy goat or some shit. I don't know. But there's a restaurant in Chicago called the Billy Goat, and so he had the shirt on called the Billy Goat. he just starts acting crazy after a while and like trying to fight everybody, like me included, like just trying to fight. Like, dude, chill out, man. And his name was Rudy. And so
Rudy,
shout out, and yeah, who you got to chant all the time, dude. Yeah, but this particular night, one of the rando people was like, "God damn it, Billy Goat, why don't you fucking chill out?" And that was just
stuck forever.
It stuck, dude. So when he got real fucked up, he tried. He tried. He was trying to fight everybody, but that's not even the real. So Billy Goat came out one night, and it was like, it was his 21st birthday, the first time. I was able to get into bars and like a couple other of my friends, but like he was always had a baby face, so he never happened for him. So his first time like actually drinking at bars, and so I'm taking him to all the downtown Punta Gorda spots.
All the fun out of it, by the way.
When you can't do it, when you can't do it, it's like I'm getting away with something. But
I'm not even supposed to be here, man.
Night was cool, bro. We're having a chill night. It's just like probably 4 or 5 of us. We're hanging out. Everything's copacetic, dude. We go to 311, which at the time was like adjacent with FM Don's. At that time, it was something different. I don't remember what it was before FM Don's. You know, talking about Jack's maybe or something. I think it was
Jack's. Yeah.
So anyway, but they had this like little bar like in the back. It was like a little mini club. It was weird. So anyway, we're in there hanging out, and me and the other guy still smoked cigarettes at the time. We're like, hey, you know, we want to go smoke. And he's just talking to the bartender, and she's like she has these like mix. And she's like, oh, you guys want to try shots of my mix I made? And we're like, yeah. So we all take shots of it, and we're like, hey, we're going to go smoke a cigarette. We'll be right back. So we go outside, like out front Jack's, and we run into a couple people from high school, so we take a little bit longer, but not like crazy long, you know. We're just having a, hey, yeah, Rudy's in there, dude. It's his fucking 21st birthday. We'll go get him, you know. And there's like, oh yeah, bring him out here, man. I'll buy him a shot. Hell yeah. When we go back in,
He is fucking.
the scene has flipped.
Yeah.
He's yelling at the bartender, and the bartender is like yelling at him, and he's like walking behind the bar. He's like yelling at her. He's like, you fucking bitch, like that, you know? And we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she's like, come get your fucking friend. I'm about to call the fucking cops on him. We're like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Like, Rudy, what are you doing, man? You know, like, what the fuck? You were chill 5 minutes ago, man. Fuck this fucking bitch. She doesn't know, like, just crazy talk, you know? Just like, she doesn't fucking know. And we're like, all right, man. Dude, let's go outside, man. Let's go outside. And she's like, get your fucking friend out here. Don't fucking come back. Like, she's so mad. I have no idea what she said to him, or what he said to her, by the way. He must have said some fucked up shit. She was so pissed. Anyway, we go out front. So we see people that we ran into. One of them, I think his name was like Calvin or something like that. He was on the football team, you know. Super nice guy. Like, weirdly probably a serial killer because he was such a sweetheart, you know, those types of people. Like, how can you be so nice?
They just
you
know no other way. Yeah.
And so he's there, and so we bring Rudy out, and by now he's just like acting like all you know, like super drunk. So we're like, okay, I guess it all just hit him at once, you know what I mean? Like, let's just see if he'll chill. We'll get him a cab here in a little bit. Let's just chill outside, you know. Me and the other guys are having a good time running into people from high school, so we're catching up. Guy comes over, he's like, hey, Rudy, man. And he just kind of like touches his back, you know. Hey, happy birthday, bro. I know you're not feeling too good right now, but that's all right, man. It's going to be great. You know, it's like just being nice, like, you know, giving him supportive talk or whatever. Rudy just like goes, like, he's like leaning on the bar like this. Goes like this. And this guy luckily was fucking athletic. And he's like, whoa, what the fuck, man? You know, dude, just... He swung at him, sitting in a stool, swung at him so hard he swung himself out of the stool and landed on the ground. So it's this big scene. Everybody's like, oh, you know. I'm like, God damn it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm embarrassed to even be associated with this at this point. He gets up and still is trying to fight this guy. And he's like, fuck you, motherfucker. And he's like, Rudy, it's me, Calvin. Like, what's your deal, man? You good? Like, what's going on? And just... I'm trying to hold him back. My buddy Ryan, I'm like, I let him go. I'm like, man, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, I was like mad at that point. I'm like, there goes the whole night. Like, I know it's your birthday, but like, dude, what are you doing right now? Buddy Ryan tries to hold him back. They like fall on the ground. It's a bad scene. The bouncers come over, which is when it got real shitty. The bouncers come over and they're like, get the fuck out. And like, Rudy's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Just belligerent, dude. Just like can't stand up straight. We're like, what the fuck did he drink? We all drank the same shit. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? And he can drink. I've drank with him before. He's not like a lightweight. You know what I mean? It was just weird. Like, I feel like I would swear that he got drugged. Yeah, for real.
It happens.
I'm telling you. But how did we not? I don't know. Anyway, but he goes to like swing at the bouncer. The bouncer literally just grabs his arm and like grabs his shirt and grabs his pants and does like the traditional
throw him out.
Throws him right out because there's like that little gate there. So the gate was open and he just fucking threw him right out landed on his face in the street. Like, oh, such a bad look, dude. And at this time, now Rudy's like now very fit. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks fantastic. Good for him. At the time, he was chubby. Boy. He was chubby boy.
Ass came out.
No, he stood up and took his shirt off. Fuck you. And everybody's like, oh, come on, put your shirt on, man. What are you doing? The whole outside of the bar. He is like the show. You know what I mean? And the bouncer's like, go, man. Go, man. I don't want to have to kick your ass. He's like, you couldn't. So he goes into the street and literally like shoves him and he falls over again. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Rudy, stop this. So I go out there. I'm like, dude, just go. At the time, there was like an empty lot there. He goes into the lot. He just stands there. He's just standing there with his shirt off for like 10 minutes. And then the cops show up. And who's the cop that shows up? A guy I went to high school with that knows me and Rudy very well. It was like weird. We're like, fucking John, what are you doing
You're
here?
A cop? Oh, my God.
No, we knew he was a cop. It was just weird that he was the one to respond. We're like, fucking John? You know, He's like, what's going on? We're like, Rudy doing Rudy stuff. And he's like, Billy Goat. It was like, yeah, it was like perfect, like movie type shit. He's like, Billy Goat, nah, or whatever. Like, yeah. He's like, well, you need to get him the fuck out of here because
They're pissed.
They're pissed and they want to press charges. And I was like, what? He didn't even touch any of them. This is crazy. You know, and I was like, yeah, we'll get him out. He's like, if you get him out of here, like right now, we're cool. I'll talk to them. Everything will be fine. I was like, all right. The cab shows up. We're getting him into the cab. Getting him into the cab. And he just like all of a sudden decides, what the fuck, man? Get off me. And like shoves me and Ryan. I'm like, no, dude. And he's like, starts like, he's like, fuck you.
I'm being honest with you.
Fucking pigs. And he's like yelling it at John. And he's like, God damn it, Rudy, get in the fucking car. It just keeps getting drawn out.
At that
and we're
point,
like,
you just knock him the fuck out.
I'm not like, we tried to grab him and he had no shirt on still. So
Slippery.
he's like,
Slimy.
dude literally slipped away from us. Took off down the alley, and John's literally like, Jesus Christ, find him and get him home now. Like, he's giving him so many chances. And we're like, we're on it, man. And he's like, at that little alley between the parking garage and, like, Tula's and shit. He, like, took off down that alley. And we're like, what the fuck, man? So we're, like, looking. We're just, Rudy. Rudy. Looking for him. Couldn't find him, dude. He was literally hiding from us. So we're like, I don't know, John. He's like, well, if we find him first, he's going to jail. And I was like, I understand, man. Like, I'm kind of done with the whole situation. We're going to Dean's. You know what I mean? Like, this is bullshit. So me and Ryan go to Dean's. We hear the rest of the story the next of the day. I guess he was hiding. So how they found him was, I guess, one of those business owners that was working one of the bars, probably River City or something like that, came out, and he was, like, hiding behind a plant. And the business owner came out, again, chubby kid with no shirt, hiding behind a plant on, like, one of their back lanais or something like that. And the guy comes out, and he's like, yo, you good, man? And I guess Rudy, like, hissed at him. He's like, he's like, yo, what the fuck? Calls the cops.
This guy's on meth.
Some dude's on my back lanai hissing at me right now. They're like, yeah, we were looking for him. They come and get him. I guess he hit a cop and hit a paramedic before they restrained him and, like, tied him up and put him in the back of a cop car.
Christ.
I was like, holy shit, dude. So, yeah, he went down. I think he got out of it with, like, disorderly conduct kind of thing, but he originally was charged with assault on a Leo, and it's a separate charge for assault on a paramedic.
I will say this.
I didn't know that.
The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office and the Punta Gorda Police Department that has to patrol downtown, like, honestly, God bless some of those guys because they deal with some fucking shit.
That was some shit.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen anybody do.
Did you see the viral video of the girl? She was a year younger than me. She got a fucking spit fucking noose mask put around her fucking head.
She was spitting on him, huh?
Spitting on him.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I'm the prettiest girl in Punta Gorda. It was like freaking out and like spitting on cops.
She said
shit.
that?
Yeah, she said that. She's not the prettiest girl in Punta Gorda.
Dude.
She doesn't make the top 100.
Top 100 though. Top. So what are we talking?
Said
top
she
150?
does it. Probably not even top 200, honestly.
Really?
She's not very pretty.
Now you're getting into weird territory.
I mean, she's ugly and she's fat. You want me to be mean about it? It was mean enough that I even brought it up.
Kind of what I was looking for.
God, we could pull up that fucking body cam. That footage was wild. That was hilarious.
You know, I never looked. I think this was before everybody was wearing body cams. You know what I mean? But god damn it,
If
that
you
would
could
have been
get
so
Rudy's,
fucking funny. The hissing thing.
Like he's a vampire.
And this is like from the police report. Like, you know what I mean? This is not like hearsay.
Suspect was hissing. Could have possibly been sexual.
Well, that's what the guy. Yeah, and that's the guy called and was like, "Hey, there's a guy hissing."
He's acting
at me.
really weird. This is not normal behavior.
I don't know. I think something's wrong with him. Like
honestly,
the call
I
was
feel
like,
so
the guy was
uncomfortable.
laughing.
I wish he would have tried to beat me up instead of hissing at me. 'Cause I got some weird vibes from that.
Yeah, we all do some crazy shit, man.
But dude, there's so many of those people where, and then they just don't stop drinking. It's like, no, man, like you should never drink again because
I mean,
there's something wrong with you.
I've seen him get a little crazy, you know, a little aggressive. I'd say he gets aggressive. That's why the Billy Goat thing made sense and it was funny because
that's a sign you shouldn't drink.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll take that. No,
listen,
I didn't get it. I
when
wasn't an aggressive guy. Now, when you came across me,
the 2 times that I've seen you,
those were bad nights.
here's the thing: you were extremely nice to me, and you were
'cause I love
extremely
you.
nice to your brother.
Yeah, I
and
love
you
you
were
guys.
extremely nice to the people that you knew and you loved.
Yeah, they're my boys.
But other people,
Fuck off.
yeah.
You're in my space.
But here's the thing. So like from that information, would you get a theory that maybe you should drink with friends in a private location?
Yeah.
Like if you really had like if someone told you, "Hey, you got to get blackout drunk tonight," where would you go? Probably do it here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not in front
Or,
of your kids,
around. Yeah.
but friends.
Like so, but that's the thing is like I've had an extensive drinking career at one point. Like, I'd say I started heavily drinking, not like being a drunk, but like weekend party drinking. Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
trying
binge-
to
that's
work
binge
on
drinking.
being
That's
able
heavy drinking.
binge drinking. Exactly.
Yes.
Like at a party in a social setting. Like I want to be able to be the guy who could take all the shots and drink the beer and not get drunk out sloppy because I did not like that look. You know what I mean? And I almost never. 2 times I can think of in my entire life I've thrown up from drinking. You know what I mean? I wasn't that guy. You know what I mean? And I drink a lot. That being said, there was not that many times I got into fights. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But almost every time I've been in a fight, I was drunk.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So maybe we're connecting dots here that I didn't realize were there.
Yeah.
You know?
I can actually say I've been in more fights sober than
Those 2 types that you saw me though, one was like that was a rough. I was like going through other shit in like my personal life too. The Alexis's wedding. Afterward,
Oh, okay.
That was like a rough one, dude.
Yeah.
And then the other time, drugs were involved.
I didn't judge you at all because listen, I've known.
You mean when I started popping off shots?
That was funny.
Fucking,
That was honestly,
that was not funny. That was really fucking stupid.
Everything
dude.
was awesome until you did that, and then even when you headbutted your friend, I was like, "That's fucking pretty cool," because he was acting kind of strange, and you're like, "He was out of fucking line." I was like, he was.
Okay, I don't
remember
that at all. But I'll tell you why. That what you saw
You
me
fucked
getting
him up.
getting
Bad.
weird, crazy like that.
That wasn't weird. That
Well,
was
just
crazy.
for me,
that wasn't weird.
That's like weird. Like that's being that crazy guy. That was drugs involved. 100%. That was Xanax was involved that night.
Probably.
So that's why I don't remember
Any
pretty
of
much
it.
any of what you're saying.
And
I
you
do
were-
remember
you
shooting the
you
gun off for some reason,
seemed
but I don't
stone
remember
cold.
why.
You seemed stone cold sober when I talked to you.
Crazy. Yeah.
The second time you did not seem stone cold
I was
sober.
gonna say I was very gone, and
That was just alcohol.
night. That night in particular, because believe my buddy was there, right, with the big white truck. We were between me and him, we drank a whole
My
quart
buddy
of
with the big
moonshine.
white truck.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, his name's Cody, but you wouldn't have known his name. But,
No, I knew exactly who it was when
yeah,
I said that.
but we drank a quart of moonshine
Yeah.
that I had brought back from Mississippi, like to ourselves, and Xanax was involved.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky that's all that happened, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think I ended the night pretty amicably, all things considered.
Well, you were
After
celebrating a wedding, so
Discharge. No. That was
the night before. Sorry.
No,
Okay,
that was the thing at my mom's house.
Yes.
The wedding night was just there was no drugs involved, I don't think. But actually there was
You're a hugger.
There was a little bit of snoot involved now that I'm thinking about it at the wedding night. Because I'm like, why
The
was
same
I
guy
so
in the white
weird?
truck brought some.
Yeah, no, this was the groom's. This was the groom's side of the family.
Oh, Jesus
Because
Christ.
the bachelor party, they were like, there was fucking cocaine everywhere. I actually felt bad for Joey because I was like, I knew he felt uncomfortable.
Oh,
with
he
that
was
type
not
of
having a
shit.
good time. He was probably freaking out.
But yeah, and he saw me do something. And I was like,
Don't fucking tell mom.
don't remember me this way.
Don't tell mom. You fucking pussy.
But yeah, so no, there was definitely snoot involved, and that's
Listen, hey,
snoot
dude,
and whiskey.
I have had
It's a
very
bad conversation.
I've had very embarrassing moments. There was one time, dude, like I walked out of a burger joint and I probably drank it was like an all you can drink deal at one of those frat parties. They literally had trash cans full of ice and beer.
Holy shit.
And I'm not even kidding. I probably polished off at least like 18 Natty Lights in probably like a 2-hour time span.
Holy shit.
and I was just fucking gone. And we went to a burger place. We walked like a mile and a half, stumbled a mile and a half to a fucking burger joint. Felt like an eternity. In like 20-degree weather, there's ice everywhere. So we're like slipping, laughing. I'm wearing like a Dirk Nowitzki jersey and nothing else. So I'm wearing like a sleeveless basketball jersey.
You'd be freezing if you weren't fucking so drunk. Yeah.
Sober Grant would not have enjoyed that at all, dude. He would have been bitching the whole time.
That's so funny.
But dude, I walked out of this burger joint. My friends went chase skirt, and
Jason Skirt.
I fell probably 15, 20 times. Cut myself up. Was fucking bleeding everywhere. Probably should have gotten stitches on my arms and my back because like I was falling on metal posts trying to like grab shit, slipping. A fucking black cop. I just remember this guy's face. He's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna put you in this fucking cab because I don't want to fucking arrest your big ass. Get in the fucking cab." And I was like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
And there's another time, dude, like a very similar scenario. I should have froze to death. This little girl who was like an angel. I don't know how she found me. The Scott Stadium in Virginia is like a block away from my dorm. My drunk ass walked like 2 miles from the bar to Scott Stadium and decided it was a good idea to try to sleep in fucking like 20-degree weather.
That's so funny.
Just like at the stadium. I was like, I'll just sleep by the door.
Gotta sleep it off. I'll be fine.
There's light here. I'm stumbling. I don't want to walk the rest of the way. This fucking like little blonde girl, like God, dude, like imagine being a little girl and seeing a drunk me on the ground. Probably should avoid me
avoided you,
at
yeah.
all costs. She literally is like, "Where do you live? Like, I'll help you get there." And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I live in a dorm called like Holly, or not Holly. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called. She like C and I dogged my ass all the way up to my dorm and like literally put me in my bed. I was
Yo,
like,
that's wild,
dude. Thank you,
Yeah.
whoever you are out there. Thank you so much because you might have saved my fucking life. I might have died.
Isn't that crazy? Like just different situations where you're like, I probably could have died from that.
Yeah. Anytime that I've driven drunk, that's so irresponsible.
Yeah.
God, even worse, you kill somebody and then you spend the rest of your life in jail and hating yourself.
Bro, that's like the one thing that like, yeah, I definitely agree with 100%.
Dude, we are fucking, oh my God. Do you remember Izzy, the hair cutter? Did you ever used to go to him? He was a local barber guy.
Yeah, up there in Charlotte Harbor they used to
Dog,
be. Why can I not think of the fucking name?
He fucking manslaughtered a guy and they gave him fucking like second-degree murder. He's got 20 years in jail. I think he just came clean because he was like literally like very depressed about it.
Oh, he didn't get caught?
I don't
He
think
like
he got
turned
caught.
himself in?
I think he turned himself in. It's fucking it's a dumb way.
Yeah, is he the barber?
To ruin your life.
What the fuck? Say the name of the barbershop.
Oh,
It's like Charlotte Harbor Barbershop or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's cut my hair before. Dude, my cousin.
Really?
Yeah. He's still in prison right now.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fucking.
It's terrible because, like I said, one, you ruin somebody else's entire life, and then you ruin yours too. It's literally like a double homicide. Like it's just there's no, and you don't think that when you're 17, you're like, I'm gonna drive drunk. This is gonna be so funny, but like it could go so bad, and we all did it in high school, and I don't know anyone that got a DUI in high school.
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, at 17, it sucked. And you know what's fucked up is I wasn't even drunk. I just had alcohol in my system.
Yeah. It's
And I was
a
like,
zero
of all times you guys are going to catch me.
zero tolerance.
Yeah.
That's your zero tolerance.
Yeah, it was bullshit. I literally had like 2 beers because I was taking a girl home.
But here's the thing: if you give any 17-year-old that has never drank before 2 beers, they're going to be pretty lit up.
Yeah.
Maybe not drunk.
I mean, I get the rule. I just thought it was like, I'm like, are you kidding
guys,
me, man?
I've been trafficking fucking drugs like crazy, and this is what you pop
All
me on.
this shit, and you're gonna get me on this, man? This is crazy.
Well, I was fucked up too because the cop was like trying to like not fuck you, but he also was like lying.
He said
he
said he wasn't gonna fuck me, and then he fucked me. Yeah, fucking asshole. But I mean, whatever. I get it. I also had drugs in the car. I shouldn't have had drugs, and things were gonna take a turn very quickly. I don't remember that jail visit at all. I just slept the whole time. Took 5 fucking Xanax. I didn't try to throw them. There's no opportunity.
them.
Yeah, I fucking swallowed them. There's nothing else to do. And you know what pisses me off is I forgot one in the bag. I didn't realize there was still one left in the bag. So that's what they found and charged me a felony with.
Well, it didn't stick. You're not
The felony? No, it didn't stick. I don't know. So I was charged with it, but I think I did one of those like adjudication type things where I did like, because I definitely had to take, I didn't do drug court or anything like that. I think I had to like take a class kind of thing on like substance abuse or something like that. But what helped me is that I actually ended up getting a prescription for that same, it was
Which
Xanax.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Some of the stories that you've told me, like in that age range of like those 2 years, you probably needed to be on something to fucking mellow you out a little bit.
Yeah, I actually chose to give up that prescription. I was
100%.
I was like, I think I got it filled like 2 or 3 times, and I was just like a zombie, bro. Like I was like, this is not a good idea.
I was going to say that about Adderall. So it's crazy that these drugs are, you can go into a doctor's office, get that prescription in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, they don't care.
And I'm a jack.
Especially Xanax at that time was like so popular.
Oh, yeah.
They were just handing it out.
And now it's even, I think, even worse.
I literally said to the guy, I have anxiety and I medicate with marijuana, but I got arrested.
So I need something.
For Xanax.
Yeah.
So I need Xanax. And he's like, I want to write you a script for Xanax.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
So
I'm 17. There's no way that's
just
that
recently,
easy.
They just recently found out that people are coming, like housewives are becoming so chemically dependent on Xanax they literally cannot get off of it because their brain will not function without it.
You can die from fucking if you try to quit. If you're like steady on, I can't remember the actual drug name, but like benzos they call it for short.
Benzos. Yep.
Yeah, you can fucking die.
They're a very similar drug. Yeah.
Grant, the amount of Xanax that I've done, in even just like in a single sitting, is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember this time,
honestly,
when they were coming out with the green ones, the 3 milligram
your
ones.
saving grace, I'm not even kidding, might be that you were so young that your brain was still developing. I know that can obviously be altered by drugs. You might have been lucky enough to where your brain like essentially healed itself because you were young. Because, like, I'm telling you, like, there's these women who are, like, you know, they've been using them for 10 years. They literally cannot stop taking them because they will not be able to function.
Yeah. But
I'm a Jekyll and Hyde with Adderall, dude. I'm a prick on Adderall. I'm not a nice person.
I actually
on Adderall.
would love to see that.
No, I stopped taking it. I substitute it.
Nicotine? That's a substitute?
Yeah, well, kind of. When I have tricked myself into thinking this makes me more productive.
I don't know. I would love to be on some kind of a fucking something.
No, I'm telling you,
bro. My ADD is so bad with this job.
You just gotta learn to like harness it.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, that's what sucks. Is like I feel like I'm very good at holding.
33 at this. I don't think I'm learning anything new at this point.
We do a good job of keeping each other in check when we do our job together, but it's just frowned upon. It's like
it is weird, but Braylee B and CP can do it, which is like what the fuck. Well, and they're good, but it's like I don't know. They don't trust us, is what it is. They think that we're gonna fuck around. Yeah.
Well, which they're not entirely wrong. But
remember when I first moved into the office too, I got checked and was like, "Oh, you're doing a lot of talking when you're in there. You better be careful." And I'm thinking like,
what is
this?
They act like you can't multitask. Typing and talking is like crazy to me. It's like
I told him I was like, "Well, if I start fucking up on stuff, I guess check me." But until then,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like
well, that was the whole thing.
I'm still good on my Build Pro and all the dumb shit I'm supposed to do.
That's why cubicles were literally like designed was to like literally keep people from talking to each other.
Yes.
Like corporate America it's
weird.
Just
bro.
terrible.
Harness us.
Yeah.
Milk us.
Be as efficient as possible, but
maybe
do all the inefficient things possible.
Maybe I'll turn this into a milking table. Are you familiar? No?
I know. I'm shaking my head in disbelief.
Put the hole like right there.
That'd be a sight to see.
Yeah, my big fat
spread out the table.
All right, baby, I'm ready. Such a weird fucking concept, dude.
Dude, people have weird sexual. The metal rod and the peen, for instance, but like, God damn, dude, there's some weird.
Well,
shit
the
out there.
concept of a milking table is weird too. It's like I want to lay down.
Well, it's the same thing as a glory hole.
I guess, kind of. Yeah, like why don't you want to look at what's going on? Glory hole is like you're just a lonely trucker, you know. That's how I've always pictured it. It's like
Yeah, but you see, I've seen glory hole like porn where it's like a dude and a chick, not two gay guys, you know, trying to be secretive.
Let's be honest.
And it's like, who's
if
watching
it's
this?
But I mean, if it's in like a men's bathroom,
Yeah, it's men.
there's not a chick hanging out
No,
in there.
but like
waiting
Frank
to get
Reynolds said,
blowjobs.
it's not my problem. My dick goes through the hole. She's got, you know,
It's
the
not
guy's
my
gotta
problem.
suck
Who's on
it.
the other side?
Yeah. I'm just gonna imagine it's a girl.
Oh my god, bro!
A mouth is a mouth.
That's got to be one of like the funniest scenes.
It's
too.
crazy
Like,
they
where
got
you
that on
just see the
TV.
shadow of the
Because it was
All
like,
right, this thing ain't gonna suck itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Frank?
cannot imagine that's a girl.
you see it pull out. Frank?
That was the most graphic shadow of a penis I've ever seen.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. God damn, so fucking good.
That show's fantastic.
Bro, if you don't watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, what the fuck's wrong with you? You know?
The first season is a little slow. It's
Yeah.
when Frank gets put in the mix. That's when it starts really fucking firing.
Yo,
off.
for real, like fucking
The first
Danny
episode,
DeVito.
by the way, that first episode they drop hard R.
Hard R, like
Yeah.
multiple times. The
Yeah.
whole episode is about racism. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. They came in hot, dude.
Yeah.
But 2005, it was different times. I mean, you're talking that was fresh off of like Chappelle Show breaking the mold, dude.
Chappelle Show, same thing. Very first
Hard
episode.
R, first
fucking-
episode.
Yeah.
we were breaking all the
Clayton
fucking
Bigsby.
norms,
Yeah.
which I feel like was better, but whatever. You know, now we got to tiptoe, and you can't even mention that it was the gentleman in the red shirt. Which one? The one with the, you know, he's the guy. You can't be like the black guy right there. You can't say that.
I'm
it's
not
like,
even shitting you.
oh, that's racist.
Race did not become a thing to me at all until I got to college. I swear to God, up until 2015, nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah. I definitely wasn't talked about. I mean, it was like a funny thing to point out the differences in like culture.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because you got to think like
Stereotypes.
You had Chappelle.
Yeah.
You had Carlos Mencia.
Yeah. Which
Who
was
he
the
was-
Hispanic version of
Yeah, like
yeah.
the Mexican, Hispanic like type of stereotypes, and then like everybody would just kind of make fun of it. Yeah, like Gary Owen, and that's so weird that I remember that name, but he was like a white dude that grew up with a bunch of black dudes
Well,
and talked like he was black and had
Yeah.
like a black wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he would like make fun of black culture being like a part of it.
Which one
You know what
is
I mean?
which one is he? Because I always get him fucked up with Michael something.
Bro, I don't even know. Like Gary Owen's been out of the game. Gary Owen's been out of the game for so long. I don't even know how to describe. Your typical looking white dude, but he talks kind of like a black guy. Oh, you're thinking Michael Rappaport.
That guy's a fucking faggot.
Yeah,
I can't
he's
stand
not.
him.
He's like a lib now.
Yeah.
He used to be funny, and
Yeah.
he was the same way. But he was like New York. Hey, you know,
Yeah, but he does. That's not.
it's like a wigger. He was
Yeah,
like for sure.
yes.
Is that bad to say too?
It's not good. I don't think. But also, I think
indication-
in this case, it's more of the way that you
know what I mean.
used it. You're more or
Yeah.
less calling him out more for being like
Cultural appropriation.
culture vulture.
Yeah.
You know,
But like that was his thing too, though. Is like he grew up in like the rough apartment complexes
Did he?
with a bunch of. That's what he said. That's his story, right?
So when you become famous, you just don't change and you start calling people out on racism, even though your whole thing has been a white guy who talks like a black person. Like that's,
It's weird. He definitely got a weird move, dude.
Yeah.
Gary Owen didn't take that. He's just like I don't know, just a different white guy.
talking about cultural appropriation. I got into an argument. There's this kid who's like my sworn nemesis from my class in fucking high school. He just posts crazy liberal shit. So during the George Floyd stuff, he's like freaking out, calling out white rappers for not saying anything about, George Floyd being killed. I was like, hey man, go check Drake's Twitter page. Go check Rick Ross. Go check all these black rappers who don't give a fuck and aren't saying anything. And the only person a rapper that I could find was Young Gravy. Was the only person who's a white guy from fucking Minnesota.
Yeah.
It was the only person that said anything about BLM or George Floyd, saying like my city's hurting right now. Pray for, It's like, dude, who cares? There's culture vultures. They're all culture vultures. It's like them being a white rapper has nothing to do with black hip hop anymore nowadays. Has nothing to do with black culture. They don't talk about anything about being black. They talk about money.
Sure, they all talk about
drugs,
being rich
and
yeah.
bitches. That's all they talk about.
Yeah, it is true.
It has nothing to do with growing up as a black man and going through hard
used
times.
to be. Yeah.
NWA is
man.
essentially where it died, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean Tupac and Biggie and you had your shit afterwards. Even fucking
era.
you could say the end of it. I'd say is like Jay-Z, like early 2000s.
I honestly, I lose all. Not only was he a bad guy in those scenarios, he was like literally a drug dealer, like ruining people's lives. He's also
he literally raps about that.
Yeah, he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah. Selling crack to some like
he's gonna be the next one you find out was doing just crazy, insane, wild.
He's already
terrible
out
shit.
there.
Yeah, well, he's
all
part
the
of
shit with Diddy.
Yeah, Diddy. Yeah.
Yo, oh my God, we're gonna start a whole nother branch. Maybe we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah,
But
we
you watched that documentary, right?
1:00.
Yeah,
yes,
bro.
on HBO. Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget to bring that up.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
Some of it was.
I want to know.
Some of it was fake.
What do you mean?
That Hispanic chick completely made that up. Her on the pool table.
I don't know it. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna watch it so we can go over.
Okay, well, I won't say
the
anything.
one on HBO or show Max or whatever.
Yeah. So when you watch that, you will notice immediately the way that she describes all. Like none of it makes sense. She's like, I was drugged, but I remember all of it. It's like that's not how that works. One, two.
Ain't the drugs they're using.
You're not very attractive. I don't think they would have done that. This guy, you're talking about a guy who could do anything he wants. Why would you do a subpar?
Yeah, well, isn't his thing? Did he do it to chicks too? I thought his thing was to like get dudes.
I think he did it with like the whole freak off thing was supposedly him being cuckold. So like he would take his girlfriend at the time, I forget her name. She was like a famous singer.
Yeah.
And he would like literally like pay some like giant big buff dude to just rail her, and he would just watch in the hotel. And then like one time she tried to leave and he beat the shit out of her.
Yeah,
in the
video.
Hallway. Yeah,
that's what that was about.
Yeah, it was. I think it was from one of the freak off deals, or they were going to do it or something. And she was like, "No, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore." Well, imagine.
Okay, but didn't he fuck a bunch of dudes?
Yeah, supposedly they don't
like the dude from fucking Good Times and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
They talked about that, right?
No,
bro. There's a recording.
A little bit.
There's a recording that's circulating, and it's supposed to hold water. Like nobody's denying.
It's audio footage or audio recording.
Of Bad Bunny, and it's like it made my stomach hurt, bro. It's like disturbing.
But can you prove it?
No, but nobody's denied it. Not even Bad Bunny. It's like a thing, and I think that's like his thing that he's like bi or whatever.
Their look at it might be. You're going to elevate
gross.
it by coming out and saying something about it. Just don't say anything. You know?
No, fuck that. That ain't fucking me.
Yeah, I would fight
for
my
or like the shit with JB, like the shit with Justin Bieber and the fucking different situations that happened there. Yo, bro, there's multiple people that were telling the same story.
Usher was very similar to Justin Bieber, where I think Usher was like 17 or 18, and he was living at Diddy's house as well. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be
Getting Diddy, dude.
Here's the thing, man. There's gonna be so many people involved with that at higher levels that aren't even just rappers or singers, and we'll never get the full story because.
So it was kind of inconclusive.
Yeah,
the documentary.
Just
a bunch of speculation.
Let me tell you what, Ashton Kutcher's on the hot seat, and
with Diddy stuff.
Yeah,
damn, he's involved in everything. He was in the hot seat with fucking that. What's his name? Danny Masterson.
Yep.
The rape stuff. He better get out of the limelight, dude. He better get out of the way. Like he's gonna get snipped.
It'll open your eyes. He for sure was having people killed. That they do conclude that from the documentary.
Ashton Kutcher?
No. Well, he might have been involved in one or two, but Diddy was 100% having people killed.
So what's the controversy with Jennifer Lopez?
She was involved in a murder that I think one of Diddy's bodyguards ended up taking the rap for, but there was a girl who was killed, and she was definitely she was there when it happened, and it wasn't like some big party or anything. It was like a small get together with Diddy, and she was dating him at the time, and like she 100% knew about it and did not do anything about it.
But like,
Or
think
she might have
about
done it
that
herself.
right there. To like date Diddy at any point, knowing how he is.
Yeah.
Like, you're written off. You've never been a good person. You're not a good person.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, maybe
you know,
before everything, but once you,
Didn't
how
she?
do you date somebody like
She
that?
showed up
You
to
know what I mean?
Kamala's deal, right? Jennifer
Oh,
Lopez.
Yeah, of course.
That looks
Jennifer
good.
Lopez.
Yeah. We'll act like there's no conclusion to that.
Yeah.
I still love, and I've talked about it so many times on here, when Kamala was in a throuple with Montel Williams.
Yeah.
That's just a sign of bad morals.
That one's hard to beat, bud. Like, that's like, you don't just walk away from that. It's such a crazy like turn in her life, where you go from like your only notoriety at that point is just being like a 21-year-old girl who's in a throuple.
He literally
And then
says
you turn that into getting involved into politics.
he literally
Like,
said in that clip with them on the red carpet, she's going to be president one day.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
it's a little weird how they just seem to call out they're all pulling the strings, you know. But all right, let's wrap it up before we go into another fucking hour.
Guys, we ask you a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this with your friends if you think they'd find it interesting. Jesus Christ, we probably did 3 hours.
Yeah.
We did do 3 hours.
do
So
3
I know
hours.
it's a lot. We did over 3 hours. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like right around 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Help spread the good word of
Spread
Brackish
the word,
Bandits.
dude. Spread the word.
podcast.
Be on the lookout for those shorts coming. Rumble. I'm gonna be trying to get just the audio version onto like the podcast app for Apple. We'll see how that goes. I think I'll be able to separate the audio track, like do an MP3 track and an MP4 track. But anyway,
And I am now selling my my used socks and underwear on the internet. So if you're into
Ooh.
that,
get in there, guys. Get in there while it's cheap. That's a rising commodity. If you don't trust crypto, the one thing you can trust as a valuable asset that'll only appreciate is Grant's crusty underwear and or socks.
yeah.
For sure.
They're both a little crusty, and the underwear is definitely a little brown striped. So
Little brown stripes. Special thank you to our sponsor. And this has been Brackish Bandits. Christ is King.
Christ is Lord.